That's $10,000, Connor. Ha ha! Yeah! 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 This show is not for sharpshooters. This show is a fucking machine gun. There's no chewy center to this show. It's all hard candy. This show is not a sniper on a fucking roof. This show is a drone taking out a village. Do not invite me into your house because I will come in and I will wreak fucking havoc. Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Folks, it's been made clear to me. I didn't think this was the case, but it certainly seems to be true. It's been made very clear to me that our friend Lily doesn't trust me. I thought she did. I thought she would. I thought she has. I thought she could. But unfortunately, it turns out that she doesn't. I explained to her, I'm like, look, this is going to be this way, and I'm going to do this, and all these things. And she's like, no, you can't. And then I said, well, what if I did it like this? And she's like, fine. And I said, look, if you don't want me to do it, I won't do it. And she goes, don't then. So now she doesn't trust me. Look at that, folks. So now I sit here in a room, and apparently I'm untrustworthy. I hope you folks don't feel that way. I hope you out there, I hope you would trust me with your lives because that's why I'm here. I'm here to save your lives. That's who I am as a person, folks. If I saw you jumping in front of a train, I would leap in to save you. And then, unfortunately, everybody would realize that I was Bruce Willis from Unbreakable and unkillable. And so that I would save your life, the train would wreck, and I would come out unscathed. And everybody would go, oh my God. And then Samuel L. Jackson would Mr. Glass his way to me, and then it would just turn into a mess, is what I'm saying. Because you know what? Eventually they would sue me because they would claim that I became the superhero because of Unbreakable, and then M. Night Shyamalan would write a movie about me, and then unfortunately it would turn out that I've been dead for the entire podcast. We don't want that, do we? We can't have me dead for the entire podcast. What if that was the twist ending on this? Oh my God, you're all, because look, we're all here. We're all waiting for the end of this book. We're all waiting. We're waiting for the monster at the end of this book. That's who I am, folks. I'm the monster at the end of this book. I'm fucking Grover. But you know, and you found out I was dead the entire time. Oh my gosh, all the time you'd invested in this, and then all of a sudden at the end I was dead because we've talked about before. I'm ending the show with a gunshot. We've all discussed that. Yes, we have. I've mentioned it many times. Well, you're saying please don't, but what do you, even if I told you I wasn't gonna, even if I told you I was not going to shoot myself, you wouldn't trust me not to shoot myself. Because it's very obvious you don't trust me. And by the way, you guys, you can't see her or you can't hear her right yet. But when I said I was going to, she gestured to the house as if she would have to clean up the mess if I shot myself. That's what she's most worried about, folks. She doesn't care about losing me because it just gains her a Wednesday. So she's thrilled about that because her calendar is chock full of stuff that I can't bring up. But because I'm not trusted, folks. I'm not a trustworthy person, and that's fine. I love you folks, though. I'll go ahead and reach out to you guys. I'll tell you that I do love you. I love so many of you because here's what happened last week. You may recall that I talked about the fact that I was getting protests sent my way and people were upset about my usage of certain words on this show. And that turned into an issue. It turned into a thing where people were sending me mails and mails. They were sending me emails. They were sending me mails. There were men who were coming to my house and they were protesting in person because I was a bit free with a word or two that maybe some people think that I shouldn't have, even though I just think it's language and who cares. And there was no malice aforethought. There was nothing that it was not used with any sort of, I wasn't using it as a cudgel to come after you and bludgeon you with it, folks. I was using it as a word to demonstrate exactly what the meaning was. And again, we can all blame Mark Twain, as I've mentioned. So then last week I brought you the story of the people who were upset about that. And I told you that they were just disappointed and sent me emails, and that's fine. Well, then this week I will tell you about the people who wrote me to tell me, hey, good for you. Don't worry about it, man. Well, no, not like racist ways, but just saying to me, we got it. We know you weren't being malicious, and that's great. But here's my favorite part, folks. I probably got like 30 emails, maybe more, and then people on Facebook and then people on Twitter all telling me that it was cool and they didn't think it was a problem. But my favorite part is at least half of the emails, and I almost took a screenshot of my mailbox just to prove it. All the emails are just the subject of the email is Nigger Jim. Like literally those are the emails that came to me. And it's like, they're bing, bing, bing. They're showing up in my email box. And people wrote me on Facebook and they're like, oh my God, Nigger Lily killed me, dude, when you said that. And people are writing, and they're using the actual word. Nobody's using the asterisks instead of the G's. Everybody is actually using the word. So now I'm torn because I'm like, yay, I've got public support out there and people understood what I was trying to do. But at the same time, have I emboldened a nation of people to now type the word nigger and not care about it. They're just like, you know what? Let's throw off the shackles of our oppression and type that word willy-nilly. Who cares? By the way, if you type out willy-nilly, please use asterisks instead of the L's. But I loved it. I mean, like all of these emails that were the title, and all of them were all just like, "Hey, look, I got what you meant. I understood it and stuff." And that was nice. You know what I mean? People reached out and were cool, and because there were black listeners who reached out and said it too. They were just like, "Yeah, dude, it didn't bother us at all," and which was nice, you know, because and I mean, I think we all know when you heard the glee with which I related both the bit itself and then the backlash from the bit, the blacklash from the bit. That I don't care. I mean, I kind of like if it turned into a thing, maybe I'd care, and we'd have to discuss it. But I think everybody knows that I'm an idiot and a jagoff, and I'm doing this we're all having fun, right? Because look, if you can't have fun throwing that word around, I don't know when you can have fun. But people wrote the emails and they were just awesome. And my favorite part again is all of you wrote me, and that's great. But you guys have to realize in your outbox, all of your outboxes, there is an email that is headlined Nigger Jim. On Facebook, when you sent me a note somewhere, because look, Facebook uses algorithms, all right? So get ready for a lot of ads telling you to buy sheets because you were sending out emails with the word nigger in it and without the word don't say that anywhere near it. So those algorithms are going to put you into some weird ghetto of Facebook where all you get is these reach outs from people who are like, hey, we've got firewood and sheets for sale. Are you interested? Who wants to buy rope and a truck? Prepare yourself for the onslaught, folks, because it's going to happen. You were all reaching out a helping hand and telling me that I was a good guy, and unfortunately you've doomed yourselves to a history of people trying to sell you fucking beachfront property in Arkansas. So good for you. Good luck. And I don't know why I got to take down Arkansas here. I enjoyed Arkansas when I went through it as I drove down a one-lane road and got stared at by people coming out of the bushes like fucking zombies as we hid my Mexican friend in the backseat under a blanket. God damn, that's true. We told Mex duck. All right, I told you that story. Yeah, so thank you for all of you asserting that I was an okay guy and things are fine and you understood. But please know that you've gone ahead and put yourselves in some sort of weird netherworld where that's going to seem okay to talk to you about. So maybe there'll be a round table you'll be invited to at some point. And so by all means, call me because I'd love to be involved. What the fuck is that noise?
My neighbor.
Well, what is he doing?
He's playing guitar. Electric guitar.
Is that guitar really? It doesn't sound. It sounds like a Roomba. Is he playing a Roomba by
Oh,
chance?
he's playing electric guitar. There's like, I don't know, half the places in here go to the Musicians Institute.
I don't know if you can hear
Apparently
this.
They're all learning the same song.
I don't know if you can hear this, folks, but there's a guy, I guess, strumming a guitar. It does not sound like a guitar to me.
Guitar.
Yes, I know what they are. You can put your hands down. Literally, if you would have just seen that, Lily held her hands up and goes, "Bling, ding, ding! It's an electric guitar," and pretended.
Ding, 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 I went,
Yeah, she did.
"Meow, meow,
Oh, I'm very sorry.
It's an electric guitar.
Oh, I see. It was an acoustic. You would have gone, "Ding, ding, 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 ding." All right, see, I mixed those up, folks. But she had her hands up as if she were playing. But the best part is both. She was playing like Andre Segovia. Like all of her fingers were going. She was finger picking. Lily does not Lily does not need a pick when she plays air guitar. She finger picks like fucking Segovia. All right. Listen, folks, if you can find another podcast this week that mentioned Andre Segovia, listen to it. Because I guarantee you no other podcast in the world brings you the classics like I bring you the classics. Go listen to another podcast. They're talking about your Joe Satriani's, your Eric Johnson's. Probably, you know what? Some of your run-of-the-mill podcasts are talking about your Estebans. I'm familiar with Esteban. As a matter of fact, my former mother-in-law bought a guitar from him. I talked about that on what was that, year 3, year 4? I don't know what it was. Buy year 4, folks. Buy something. Nobody's buying anything. Pony up your cash, folks. What's happening? The Joe Business page is collecting dust. I need you guys to make some purchases quickly, or else it's the barbecue pit for me forever. And we can't have that, right? Support your independent artists. And I am that, folks. Well, not an artist. I mean, I'm certainly independent. Hold on a second. We need to think about that phrase for just a second. I am independent. By all means, there's no doubt I'm independent. Whether by choice or not, I am independent now and always. Artist, that's up for debate. That's a coin flip at this point. That's 50-50. That's heads or tails. And I'm going to take tails. You know why? Because Dave Casper always took tails, and he was the ghost. All right. Uh, Dave Casper was a tight end on the Raiders in the 70s and the 80s. And he's famous for the ghost to the post, which was the game where they defeated Baltimore in overtime 37-31. Double overtime, if I remember correctly. And Kenny Stabler hit Dave Casper on the ghost to the post. He was the ghost. He also recovered the forward fumble against San Diego, winning that game, causing outrage, forcing an NFL rule change, for fuck's sake. That's the magic Dave Casper brings to the NFL. And he always called tails, and so I did too. Literally, as a child, I've for in my entire life, if I'm involved in a coin flip situation, which is, folks, you have no idea how many times I am, happens all the time. Parking spaces, in a bar, a restaurant, at a public pool. Someone breaks out a quarter, and I'm in this conversation. Let's do it. Is that a coin? Put it on your thumb and let's make a wager. God damn it. I got a 50-50 shot, but the ghost says tails. Stupid. Nobody flips coins anymore. What am I, a fucking villain in a 20s movie? Standing in a dark doorway? Hey, Lucky. Call me Lucky. God damn, I want a nickname like Lucky. If you call me Lucky, I promise to flip a coin every time you see me. I'll just have it in my hand, and I'll be flipping it up and down, and it will always be tails. You know why? Because fucking 87 Dave Casper said it would be. Do I have a fascination with the Raiders? Certainly the old Raiders? Yes, I do. We've talked about Lester Hayes. We've talked about Dave Casper. I will tell you this. When I was a kid and we would play football, everybody wanted to be a guy. Everybody had to be a football player. So, like, obviously, we were in Chicago, so everybody wanted to be Walter Payton, or they wanted to be like that. Dude, you know who I was? John Matuzak. They would call me the Twos when we would play because I was a big fat guy on the line and just fucking stormtrooping and playing defensive line. Twos! My favorite guy ever, there was this guy, Bill Freeze. And Bill, everybody's had this guy in their neighborhood. Okay, we were all like 13, 14 playing football. Bill was 24, but he came out to play football with us. And he had a jersey for like every team, but I loved Bill. Bill Freeze is my role model because everybody would have their, their 12 jersey, they had their Joe Montana 16 jersey, or they had their Peyton 34. He would walk out with like a 51 Chiefs jersey. And we'd be like, "Who are you, dude?" He's like, "I'm Frank Manamaluga." What the fuck? He was some backup linebacker, but he chose him, and that was his guy. Like, we'd be playing football, and again, everybody is somebody else. I'm Jerry Rice. I get to be this guy. I'm Jim McMahon. I'm the fucking Bears. And he's like, "I'm Frank Manamaluga." And then he'd line up, and who else did he? Oh, dude, you know who else he made me? Because everybody would call me John Matuzak, but then fucking Bill Freeze is like, dude, no, you're Lance Mel. Lance Mel! Linebacker for the Jets, MEHL. Look it up. I was Lance Mel when we were playing. He's like, whenever I'm on his team, he's like, "Dude, I'm Frank Manamaluga, and you're Lance Mel." I'm like, Bill Freeze is the greatest man who ever lived. Because again, everybody else wants to be a superstar. He's in the trenches. He's fucking Manamaluga, goddammit. I liked being the Twos. Don't kid yourselves. I liked being John Matuzak because again, I have a Raider thing as a Bears fan, but as a kid, I loved the Raiders equally. I've loved the Raiders my whole life, and that's why we get back to Dave Casper and the Ghost of the Post. So whenever anybody flips a coin, I'm calling tails. It doesn't matter because Dave Casper told me I should. Now, did Cliff Branch call tails? I have no idea. Did Dave Dalby call tails? I don't know. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. Did Ted the Mad Stork Hendricks call tails? I'm not sure if he did. Did Mike Davis call tails? Did Vance McElroy call tails? What about Matt Millen? Let's talk about all of the old Raiders that I can mention off the top of my fucking head. Did Mark Van Egan call it? Did Marv Hubbard call it? I don't know. I don't know anything coin related with the old Raiders except for Dave Casper and tails. So quit asking me, goddammit. Because I'll tell you what, if you come up to me in my face with that nonsense in person and start asking me about old fucking Raiders, and you're like, "Hey, dude, what kind of coin did fucking Fred Bolitnikov take?" I'm going to get down in a 3-point stance and Lance Mel your ass. And I'm going to bust you right in the Manamaluga. Ha ha! Yeah! Football season's coming. I'm excited. As long as they run the games from 1982. I don't care about this newfangled football. Bullshit. Bring the old stuff back. I want the Ken O'Brien Jets out there. Yeah. Let's get Todd Blackledge back in the game. Come on. Pick it up, folks. Give me a Jim Plunkett. All right. Give me a Todd Christensen with his perm. Todd Christensen had a crazy perm. Todd Christensen, tight end, number 46. Also the number of Doug Plank. Former safety for the Chicago Bears, and also a famous defense devised by Buddy Ryan, the 46 defense. And why did he call it the 46? In honor of Doug Plank. Let's just talk football the whole time. I want to do that. I'm going to do that right now. That's what I'm going to bring to the table. I'm going to talk about Lynn Dickey. I'm going to talk about Don Makowski. I'm going to talk about Mike Ditka. That's right, just old players. Dudes, I used to know sports, and I don't now. I'm 46, and I don't give a fuck. I'm 46! Holy shit, look at the tie-in! God damn it! Look how it worked, folks! I'm 46. Plank, Christensen, you just spit soda all over yourself. That's awesome. Yeah! Are you okay? Folks. Dude, I just fucking steamrolled it. Did soda come out your nose? I burned her sinuses. That's what Plank will do. That's what Christensen does. That's what the 46 brings to the table, baby. That's the magic of it. I just sent 10 guys at Lily's fucking I just sent 10 guys in Lily's backfield, and believe me, it's not the first time. You just got fucking Otis Wilson. I just fucking Dan Hampton. You got McMichael, goddammit. And soda shot out of your nose. They're going to have to take, you know what? You're going to have to get replaced. And they're going to have to bring in Danny White to fucking produce the rest of the show. That's right.
Oh, fuck.
All right. I'm 46, folks. Look at that. How did that work? But I'm 46 and I don't give a fuck anymore about like sports. Like I do, like I kind of root for it and I watch it. But I mean, just because real life has taken over my real life, so I can't lose myself in that anymore. And every time I go on and I read some story about some football player or some guy tweeted the wrong thing or some guy did something stupid or he won't sign his contract. And this week there was another, who was the guy bitching about his deal? Like he's like, oh, I can't believe I'm getting so ruined by this deal. I'm only making $14 million a year when I should be making $18 million or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, and again, I'm not some grouchy idiot with a beer can in Michigan who's like, screw them all. I'd play this game for free because I wouldn't. I would absolutely want $18 million. I want $18 million to do this. But again, folks, I'm independent. Which means I can make my own rules, which means I can ask for whatever sum I feel is appropriate. I don't have a union backing me up. The podcasting union will not accept me. They've gone ahead and done their own thing. They've kept me separate, and I'm the only guy on the outside of it. You know what? I'm Podcast FICOR. That's the fuck I am. I've declared myself Podcast FICOR, and I negotiate my own fucking deals. Nobody wants any of me. Because the podcast union, they have their little meetings, and they get together, and there's fucking Sylvester Stallone, and he rolls his sleeves up, and they go, who are we? Podcast. Who are we? Podcast. And I'm on the outside looking in, peeking in a window with a fucking newsboy hat on, eating a raw potato. What the fuck is wrong with me? I gotta fucking get in the game. I need to get in the podcast union, but I can't. I try. I knock on the door, and sure enough, they kind of peek out with their little, and they're like, what's the secret word? And I'm like, I don't know, fucking failure. And they're like, maybe that's your secret word, but not here at the podcasting union. It's all about success. And then they slam the big oaken door in my face, and they go off and they put on their podcasting robes, and they do their podcasting secret sessions. And they all get together and use the sacred mic. And I'm not even involved. I can't come in. All your Earwolf people are in there and they're fucking hanging out with everybody else. The All Things Comedy. Everybody's in there getting their sponsors together and it's a big circle jerk and I'm on the outside looking in. God damn it. Are you okay?
No, my nose hurts.
What, because of soda?
Yes.
Well, you know what? Let's look on the bright side. Honestly, that was really fucking funny. So you should have spit soda out. Quite frankly, it was so goddamn funny. I can't believe soda didn't come out of my nose from a year ago. Because that was fucking hysterical. Well, the good news is we have medical coverage with the Podcasters Union. No, we don't. You got fried sinus and it stays that way. Nothing we can do about it. You just got whelked. You got fucking whelked. Not Welkered. Welkered being that's a player from now, but you got whelked. We had a Welker back in the day. You know, we got a Welker now. He's a fucking white wide receiver. He's catching passes. He's like, oh, yeah, Welker's great. You know who we had in the back? In the old days? Waddle. We had a Waddle. We didn't need a Welker. We had a Waddle in Chicago, goddammit. That guy's actually still famous. There was because everybody loves a white receiver. I don't. I'm not a fan. But everybody's like, yay, gritty white receivers. That's the way to go. And it's like, dude, I don't know. Give me... Because everybody's like, wide receivers are divas, and they're pissed off at them because, why wide receivers are divas? Because they fucking can play, and they're badasses, so why wouldn't they be divas? If I was an athlete, I'd be the biggest jagoff in the fucking world. It would be terrible. I'm a podcaster, I'm the biggest jagoff in the fucking world. I have nothing to be proud of or nothing to display. Because, again, I'm independent, folks. I'm not in the Podcasters Union. They won't accept me. Although, I'll tell you this, now that it came up, I'm glad you brought it up, folks. Do you know that last week, for a brief, shining, fleeting second, I was part of the Podcasters Union.
What?
Yes. Because as you know, it's Keep It Indie with Mike Schmidt. We've talked about that many times on this show. And is that more a case of the fact that I've chosen to be independent, or is it more the case of the fact that the Podcasters Union has no interest in me? I don't know. I can't decide. It's a little of both, I won't lie. It's probably 50-50. It's probably a coin flip at this point. Yeah! Brings it back! They wanted me in the Podcasters Union. They had a coin. I flipped it. I said tails, and Casper let me down. It's the first time he ever let me down. The ghost got busted. It's fucking terrible. Who are you going to call? Not me. I lost the coin flip. Out of the union. But last week, God, this guy is shredding next door. I mean, he's just going to work. I wish you guys could hear it, or perhaps you can, because I'll get that email. Well, dude, and you know what would be funny if those emails just said "nigger Jim" in the top. What, a new influx of nigger Jim emails? I heard that guitar; it was amazing. And they don't even acknowledge it. Don't even acknowledge the subject. What is he playing? Do you know the song? Can you recognize it?
Last week it was there's the House in the Rising Sun.
House in the Rising Sun. Okay.
I don't know what it is this week. I can't.
Yeah, I can't place it either.
Yeah.
I imagine how his instructors feel. This is just a lot of noise.
No, I mean I recognize it, but I can't.
Okay.
I don't know it well enough to go. Oh, it's such and such.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. You're going to hear it for the next 17 hours. So once you figure it out, let me know.
Probably.
Good Lord, that's awful.
I'll go ask him what it is. I'll go knock on the door. Hold on.
I'll wait. Seriously, what are these people doing? You know what? And that's the kind of thing we could not do if we were in the podcasters union.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's that rule against silence. They have to fill every single second with some sort of nonsense or a sound effect or I don't know. I don't listen to other shows, folks. And who the fuck am I saying that there can't be silence? All I do is fill this with fucking wall-to-wall garbage. All right. But last week, folks, I'm indie right now. As you know, I'm the Fugazi of podcasting. I'll come and crash on your couch and do a show somewhere else. Or I'll crash somewhere else and do a show on your couch. However you guys want to work it. Bust out the quarter and flip it. Let's see how it works. Heads, I do a show somewhere else. Tails, I do a show in your house. Flip it. And you know what I'm picking? Ghost to the Post. Dave Casper was awesome. Notre Dame, I believe. Went to Notre Dame. By the way, I just want to say this for no reason. Remember I talked about how I don't like sports anymore? I do love them. I still love them. I love baseball. I love football. I do like them. But I can't pay attention to them like I did in the old days. You know, when old, again, because I was watching the Baltimore Orioles this week. And when I think of Baltimore Orioles, who do you folks think of? You think of Eddie Murray. You think of Cal Ripken. You think of Frank Robinson. You think of Dave McNally. You think of Mike Cuellar. You think of Jim Palmer. You think of Rick Dempsey. You think of Tito Landrum destroying the White Sox in 1983. Of course you do. I don't know why I'm unleashing sports all over you this week, but why not? But this year, the Orioles have a player named Chris Davis on their team. And Chris Davis has always been a guy who's been a power hitter, but he's been kind of a lunkhead power hitter. Like, he doesn't do very well otherwise. If he's not hitting the ball out of the park, he's striking out or just kind of bad. But there is a place for that guy on your team because he's going to hit 30 to 35 home runs, and it's power that you need in the lineup. You just hit him lower so he doesn't fuck everything up. Well, this year, Chris Davis has made some adjustments. I don't know if his hands are lower. Perhaps his hands are higher. Perhaps his feet are spread apart. Perhaps he's further up in the box. Perhaps he's further back in the box. I don't know. But I do know this. He had 37 home runs at the All-Star break, which is ridiculous. And by the way, 37 might be 39. I could be wrong. 39 sticks in my head because I think that was the record. I think Bonds had 39 and Davis had 37. Or Bonds had 37 and Davis had 35. Regardless, Davis had 2 less than Bonds. That's Barry Bonds, by the way. Barry Bonds, not Bobby Bonds. Let's not confuse the two. And we're certainly not talking about Gary U.S. Bonds.
A name I know.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And where's Gary U.S. Bonds going? Down to New Orleans. Dun, 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 dun. Well, because there's a house down there. I don't know if you've heard about it, Lily. Folks, call the podcasting union and tell them they have to hear this show. Because the head full of bees is just rampage. These are the most fun, folks. So Gary U.S. Bonds, who, by the way, would tell you that this little girl is mine. Not to be confused with Michael Jackson fighting with Paul McCartney, who say that the doggone girl is theirs. What if I just made this entire show like a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon bullshit where everything just got connected? Really, because nobody else could do that. But unfortunately, like, all my references are old. Like, I can't bring it into the modern day. You guys are stuck with me and fucking Al Toon. Google's going to collapse, by the way, today. Google will collapse for people Googling these names. Did he say Jim Hart? What about Terry Metcalf? Are these Cardinals from the 70s? Yes, they are. Baseball Cardinals or football Cardinals? No, if he was talking baseball Cardinals, he'd be probably talking about Tommy Herr and Ozzie Smith. And perhaps Jack the Ripper Clark, who fucking crushed a fastball off Tom Niedenfuhr. All right. That's one of the greatest. Go look that up. Go look, literally Google Jack Clark and Tom Niedenfuhr. Hold on. First, Google up spelling of Niedenfuhr. Then Google Jack the Ripper Clark against Tom Niedenfuhr because it's the greatest. Because I hated the Dodgers as a kid. I'm not a fan of them now, but as a kid I hated them because the Dodgers and the Yankees, they were just always that America team bullshit. It was like, I didn't like the Lakers, the Celtics, I didn't like the Cowboys, I didn't like the Yankees, I didn't like the Dodgers. Well, the Dodgers were in the playoffs against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were this punch and Judy fucking team where like they would just hit doubles and triples, they'd steal bases, and they just gnawed at you. It was like a team of gnats attacking you. It was like death by paper cuts. And I have to be honest with you, I don't have any evidence that the 1982 Cardinals killed anyone. But if they did, I'm sure it was by paper cuts. Might have been 85. Check that. It was 85, I think, when Jack Clark roped off Niedenfuhr. Because 82 Cardinals, that was Whitey Herzog's Cardinals who went in and played the Brewers. They played fucking Gorman Thomas and Ben Ogilvy and Cecil Cooper. Oh, Cecil Cooper. Folks, can I tell you right now how much I love Cecil Cooper? When I was a kid, my friend and I, he was our favorite brewer. We loved him so much. Jeff and I could do his stance. I could probably still do his stance. Cecil Cooper had this amazing left-handed batting stance where the bat just kind of hung over his shoulder, but he would just viciously unleash swings and rope doubles and fucking crank home runs. And Strat, God damn it, in Strat, I loved having Cecil Cooper. It was a fight for Cecil Cooper. I would have Mike Schmidt, and then I had to have Cecil Cooper on the other end of the diamond. And then you could take your pick of the outfielders because there were so many outfielders to choose from. But I had to lock down third. I had to lock down first. You tried to lock down catcher and get a pretty good starting pitcher as well. This is how you work a Strat draft, folks. All right, so... But yeah, in 82, when the Cardinals played the Brewers were awesome. That was Harvey's Wallbangers. We're talking about Harvey Keene, folks. And actually, they defeated the Orioles in the American League East. They triumphed over the Orioles. I think they beat them on the last day of the season to win the division, perhaps in Memorial Stadium, which was the old stadium for the Orioles, who now play in Camden Yards. I was in Camden Yards once. I was in there with Jimmy Pardo. And when Jimmy Pardo and I were there, we remarked to ourselves, we could not believe how incredibly attractive every single baseball player was. And when you think about it, it's true. It's because they keep themselves in shape. They play in the sun all summer long. And they have access to the best medical care in the world. And they're fucking rich. So, of course, they're gorgeous. And I say that to you now as I bring this all back around because Chris Davis, who I was mentioning earlier, folks, who plays for the Orioles in Camden Yards right now, may be the most attractive human being I've seen in my life. I was astonished by it. Like, I mean, look, I'm in play anyway. All right, we know that. I'm a coin flip. Who knows where I'm going to go at this point because I just need to stick my dick into something. Oh my God. But perhaps if Cecil Cooper was here, I'd stick my dick into Cecil Cooper. I would ram my cock into Cecil Cooper so hard.
Oh my God. Really?
I should probably take that statement back, but I won't. Oh, the things I would do to Cecil Cooper, folks. Holy shit. Send me an email. I'll write it. Maybe I'll blog about it. I'll write a whole blog about the things I would do. I would just lay. I could just imagine Cecil Cooper prone in front of me right now.
Oh,
oh man, I would start at one end and go up and come back down the other. God damn it, Cecil.
Oh, Christ.
Face down, ass up. That's your new stance, Cecil.
Oh my God.
Get your swings in. All right.
Oh my God.
So Chris Davis, I'm telling you, because he's at the All-Star game and he did this thing and he was doing an interview, and I saw him and he looks like Brad Pitt and Toby Keith had a child. Like it's just this incredibly, like this brilliant. He looks like Thor. I mean, literally, if I other than Hemsworth, who is a perfect Thor, Chris Davis looks like he could be Thor. Chris Hemsworth, who's Thor in the movie. Poor Lily. Look, folks, you have no idea. She has no clue what I'm talking about. Any of this. And I got to be honest, she's pretty much your proxy because I'm sure you have no idea what I'm talking about either. And normally that would bother me that you didn't know who Mark Malone was. But unfortunately, that's what I bring to the table for you this week. If you don't know who Barry Foster was. And yes, we're on to the 90s Steelers. We could talk Tim Brown if you want. We could talk Mark Wilson, number 6 out of Brigham Young. He's a quarterback for the Raiders back then. I hated him, hated Mark Wilson. One of my most conflicted moments as a child. One of my most conflicted moments as a child, folks, was when Ken Stabler led the Raiders into Soldier Field to play the Bears in, I believe it was 1977. And Walter Payton went off, and the Bears, because the Raiders were fantastic, and the Bears were just kind of but the Bears were up for this meeting, and I loved the Raiders as a kid. And I liked the Bears, but I loved the Raiders. And then the Raiders came in. And it was a bang out shootout, and the Raiders wound up winning 28-27. It wound up being the NFL game of the week that week. But I remember watching it take place, and the Raiders wore their white, and the Bears, because I'll tell you this about the Bears too. If you watch the Bears now, the Bears have the best uniform in football besides the Raiders, in my opinion. Although the Redskins are also great; those are great uniforms. I guess you know what I like? I like the Cowboys blue. What am I doing? God damn it! What are we going to file this under this week? It can't be comedy, sports. It can't be sports either.
It's taken with sports talk.
Oh my God! And I'm not even like I said, I'm not even that Jones for football. Just that's where my head went today. Fucking Bill Freeze. I blame him. Fucking Manamalugaed me into doing this fucking show. But yeah, that Raider game, man. So the Bears in the old days, like now because they have a distinct blue in their jersey now. And but in the 70s, I swear to God, and it could have been just that I had a shitty TV as a poor white child. But the Bears uniforms looked black back then. Like they had more of a black, like a darkened thing to their jersey. So when the Raiders came into town having to wear their white, because normally they wear black all the time, and they had to face the Bears in those really dark fucking black looking jerseys, the contrast was staggering for me as a child. It was a stark contrast, one I couldn't deal with. Okay. When I say I couldn't deal with it, that sounds silly. Like, what did I do? I went to therapy for years over the fact of the jersey contrast. That did not happen. But let's get back to Chris Davis, because that... Again, Toby Keith and Brett, look him up. I'm not even kidding. Look up Chris Davis. That's what you should tag this show. Just tag it Chris Davis. Because right now he's the talk of the town. Not this town. Talk of Baltimore. And other towns, because everybody thinks he's on steroids and think he's taking the spike, and that's become a thing this week. Because there was a guy named Ryan Braun who plays with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he wound up getting suspended for steroids for 65 games. And last year he had taken a test, and there was a thing, and it turned out his piss got put in the wrong cooler, and then he got off, and now this week they got him, and everybody's all like, "Yay, punish the steroid guys!" And as you know how I feel about it, folks, yoke these motherfuckers up to the size of parade floats and let them smash into one another. I don't give a shit. They exist for my amusement. That's it. Sports is a human zoo. I go there, I watch you do your thing, I throw you some corn, and I leave. That's it. That I will not rest until I get back into Camden Yards and me and Jimmy Pardo throw corn to Chris Davis. That's how it's got to work. Because he's a big strapping Corn Fred dude. Corn Fred? Oh my God. Bill Freeze was Corn Fred when we played hockey. Corn Fred, one of the greatest Canadians of all time. Corn Fred. Yvonne Corn Fred. No, it was Cornway. No, it was Corn Fred. I think actually Corn Fred is the American version of Cornway, because Yvonne Cornway was a famous Montreal Canadian. Let's get into hockey, folks. Oh my God, when I was a kid in the 80s. I'm a Blackhawk fan. As you know, I love the Blackhawks, but at the same time, I loved the Islanders as a child. Because Clark Gillies is my favorite player of all time. My favorite hockey player of all time. I'll go so far as to tell you guys this. Why not? Why not throw this out there? And Lily, you may want to erase this when I'm finished. I love Clark Gillies so much that his number is always in one of my pin numbers. You got to figure out the other three on your own, folks. But I will give you the 9. He gets played in the Powerball whenever I play the Powerball.
Oh my God.
I play Clark Gillies. He's in there. He has to be. Jethro, that was his nickname. Best fighter in the National Hockey League. And don't come at me with your Paul Holmgrens and your Ben Wilsons. Or your Dave Schultzes, or your Dave Semenkos, your Dave Cementhead Semenkos, Wayne Gretzky's bodyguard Dave Semenko. I don't want to hear it. It's all about Clark Gillies, folks. I can't imagine anybody with a vagina is still listening to this show.
Not.
Look, it's a crapshoot, folks. It's a coin flip, as you know. You got to call it right when the show starts. Sometimes it's heads and you get what you want. Sometimes I Casper it and I get to talk about fucking football and hockey from the 80s. That's what happens. Write it out. And this is what you can do when you're an independent podcast. If I was part of the Podcasters Union, they would have put the kibosh on this a long time ago. If I were Keith and the girl would have left by now. It would just be Keith telling you about the fucking old Raiders, and you wouldn't want that, would you? Although Keith, I'm sure he's engaging. I don't know. I haven't heard their show. I've never been asked to be on their show. Someone wrote me and said, and they said, "Hey, Nigger Jim, have you ever been on Keith and the Girl?" I'm gonna get that in the back of an old football jersey. gonna get a fucking Lance Mel jersey and just put that on the back. Nigger Lance does not have the same ring to it. All right. So the fuck was I talking about? Where was the entry point of this? Wasn't I talking about something?
You were talking about a pretty football player.
Baseball player. Oh, Chris Davis.
Player. And you were talking about the podcast union and briefly being in it.
That's what it was. That was the gateway to all this genius. Genius is a strong word. So I'm an independent podcast, folks, as you know. Perhaps the last of them. As I've noticed up all of these podcasting unions scarfing up all these independent shows and putting them under their umbrella. And I remain out in the rain. I podcast in the rain, folks. I do that for you. I throw on my slicker. I get out there in my galoshes. I throw on my rubbers. And all I do is splash around in a puddle for you guys every single fucking week. That's what I do.
Oh my God.
And I peer in the window at the podcasters union as they share bread and mullet. Mullet? Mutton. Nobody shares mullet. Mullet row. Mullet's a fish, right? So maybe they do eat fish. But I was going to say mutton because like they eat baby lambs. No, that's old lamb. Mutton's the old lamb. Baby lamb is a ewe. But nobody eats ewes. Unless you're eating alphabets. So I'm out in the rain, folks, and I'm dancing in a puddle for you. As you flip quarters my way and I catch them and I flip them, they turn up tails because I fucking ghost you. I fucking Casper you. And you know when I quit, by the way? I dance in the rain until I get 87 quarters. Because that's Dave Casper's number. And then I line them up, all tails. So, last week, I was independent as of last week. I've been independent this whole time, folks. You know that. So I'm independent. And then last week, I sit down at my computer, my desktop computer, that I still own. Well, I don't know if I own it. It's still in my house. The people haven't taken it yet. My butler hasn't filed a claim for it just yet. Although that was discussed. I mentioned that, right? She wanted my desktop. And I was like, I can't do that. I got a document on there. I can't give you that.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, I've got at least one Word doc on there that I couldn't possibly put on a flash drive. I need to keep this. No, I keep it because I'm selfish, because the desktop it's gigantic. I have like a 42-inch screen. That seems high or large. What is it, 20? You've worked on it, Lily, when you used to do my taxes in the old days. Let's talk about that for just a second, by the way. Lily's my tax person. She's everything to me. Lily's my all. But she has not done my taxes in quite a while because she's very busy these days, not trusting me. So I have to stare at the QuickBooks icon and go, I wonder if that's going to get done ever. But I will tell you this: when my butler left, there were some ties that bound us. They're still there. We've taken care of some of them, and some of them still exist. One of them is I still owe taxes from last year, 2013, 2012. So I am in debt to the IRS. What was I talking about before the IRS? I don't want to get sidetracked. Podcasting Union. Remember that. I don't want to get sidetracked. That should be the name of the show. So I have the IRS on speed dial because I have to pay them. And here's the way it works, folks. The IRS is like, dude, you totally owe us money. And I'm like, yes, I do. Deborah Foreman from Valley Girl. Yay! I'm trying to bring you back into my embrace. And now let's go make out with E.G. Daily and see her tits.
Oh yeah.
They are disappointing, though. I won't lie. But still incredibly hot. I'm an E.G. Daily fan. And I like Deborah Foreman. My friend Dennis, when I was a kid growing up, not evil Dennis, but Dennis Eggs, he loved Deborah Foreman to the point where he like he had a poster of her. No, I think he handmade it. I don't know how you get a poster of Deborah Foreman. That's not possible, right? He would have blown Nicolas Cage just to taste what Deborah Foreman tasted like because he fake fucked her in Valley Girl. Although he made it really tagged her. I don't know, Nicolas Cage, he probably lays it down, right? There's been a lot of girls in the end of Nicolas Cage's cock. Well, I would if I was in that position. Are you kidding me? If I was in Vampire's Kiss and then moved into Kick-Ass and did all those other fucking movies, if I was a drunk and leaving Las Vegas, dude, I might bang Nicolas Cage just to smell Elizabeth Shue's perfume on his neck. I don't know. Again, as we know, folks, I'm a variable. I don't know what's going to happen. So so Dennis, he loved Deborah Foreman. What was I talking about for Deborah Foreman? I get lost. We were talking about of course it was the IRS, because the IRS was, they were from Valley Girl. The illusion of this kind of disappears a little bit when I have to keep asking you what I did. I hate that. I like tying this. I like when nobody can see the seams. I like when I'm able to kind of just fly with the bees wherever. When I have to actually stop the bees and ask for directions, that's not fun. I just like unleashing the bees, but when the bees have to stop in mid-flight and we all have to kind of look at each other and bust out a fucking map, that's not fun at all. I want to saddle up these bees and ride, goddammit! Nobody wants to stop at a signpost and go, which way, bees? Buzz, buzz. Fucking who knows? Buzz, buzz. That's a dog I babysat. I didn't babysit him. My dog sat him. Actually, I did babysit him. I put him in a crib and I sang to him. Lullaby and buzz, buzz. What if I just sang lullabies the rest of the time? Do you think I would a serious question for you, Lily, as their proxy, but I ask you people as well. Your iPod vaginas or whatever you got your ears working, however you're hearing me. If I'm on some sort of, perhaps I'm in a submarine. You're in a submarine and you hear me. They've put me on throughout the entire ship. Is a submarine a ship? It is? You say it is. You're nodding. You just want out. You want out. Okay, a submarine is a ship. Well, okay. Do they play music in the ship or podcasts? Probably neither. Probably they're just worried about the Russians. They're probably not worried about the Russians at all. But again, we're back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, if I'm on a submarine, I am worried about the Russians, goddammit. I don't have a whole lot of time to sit there and think about fucking Butch Johnson and Drew Pearson and how they're going to beat up my defense. Wide receivers for the Cowboys. Look, if I'm in the Navy and I'm on a submarine, I don't have a lot of time to think about Phil McConkey running a button hook on me. He's a Giants wide receiver. Scrappy white guy. Everybody loved him because he was a scrappy white wide receiver. I don't understand why people loved them. I mean, I do, because they're racists. Anybody who likes Wes Welker's a racist. That's right. You're not rooting for him because it's like, yay, he's a good receiver. You're like, yay, he's white like me, and it proves that I could possibly do this at some point. No, you couldn't. You're not nearly attractive enough to be in professional sports. That's the test, man. When they scout you, it's like they don't even care about your stats. And I'm not even lying. Watch Moneyball. Read anything about scouts. There's a thing they call the good face. That's the truth. They actually look for the good face on a prospect. If you're ugly, teams don't want you. You can hit 100 home runs. All right. So, we're on a submarine, right? Were we on a submarine? God damn it, the bees have to ask for directions again. IRS. So they're like, dude, you owe us totally a bunch of money. And I'm like, gag me with a spoon. That's awful. So, and then I walked in with my punker friend and I said, what do you got going here? A bait shop? Dig in, Fred. It's my favorite line in Valley Girl. I always wanted to bang the mom in Valley Girl that wound up banging the other dude. I mean, I liked the girls too, but there was just something when you're a kid about that. Oh, yeah, I got to tag that mom. All right. That's how I worked as a kid. If I wasn't fantasizing about putting my cock in Cecil Cooper, I was thinking about putting it in somebody's mom. You have no patience for me anymore. Literally, Lily has written the letters IRS down and keeps pointing at it. You know who you become? The producer in Natural Born Killers. When Robert Downey Jr. starts yelling at Woody Harrelson.
Oh, that was so awesome.
And she puts her finger in her nose and just kind of does a thing like, hey, dude, you're just fucking wasting time now. You're just jerking off. But that's what this show is.
No, I'm just teasing because I was afraid you were going to go back to the podcasting union and not come back to the IRS.
I couldn't miss those. People are on the edge of their seats. Relax, folks. I'll bring you everything you want to hear. You don't think I'm going to get there right now because it's like a trapeze. It's like I'm that dude on the fucking wire with a pole and I'm lending my way over the fucking podcasting chasm and I'm not going to tumble in, folks. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to fall in. I maintain my balance. I walk a tightrope like you know what? Like Lynn Swann walking a tightrope on the sideline in the 1975 Super Bowl against the Cowboys when he was the MVP just for making 4 catches, but they were 4 stupendous catches. Lynn Swann, not a diva receiver, just an amazing receiver. And actually, when I was a kid, I liked John Stallworth better because Lynn Swann, I don't know, he just seemed more of a kind of a pansy. Stallworth was like a strapping dude, 82. There's nothing better than the catch, dude. In 82, he was number 82, but in the Super Bowl in 79, when fucking they played the Rams on the Rams home field. To this day, the only home Super Bowl, the only team to play the Super Bowl on their home field, not really their home field, but in Los Angeles. The Rams played the Super Bowl in there, and John Stallworth made an over-the-shoulder catch. Oh, it's so glorious. Go watch it. Go watch it right now. Google it. Stallworth catch, 79 Super Bowl, Steelers-Rams. That was a game where Vince Ferragamo quarterbacked the Rams. And then later on, I worked in a Little Caesars that was owned by Vince Ferragamo. He was a franchisor, a franchisee. And he and I would get together and we would talk about Willie Flipper Anderson quite a bit. And Rod Hill. And Jackie Slater. I'm just going to run through the Rams. Why not? Let's talk about Wendell Bryant. Let's talk about him, folks. You think Kobe Bryant's the only sports figure in Los Angeles to be a Bryant? No, Wendell Bryant. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's fucking wrong. Hold on. Bullshit. It was Wendell Tyler and Cullen Bryant. Yeah, that's right.
Jesus Christ.
It was fullback and halfback. It was Wendell Tyler and Cullen Bryant. I saved it. Because in my head when I was saying Wendell Bryant, I'm like, that's wrong. That's probably wrong. But they were both there. Wendell Tyler, Cullen Bryant. I guarantee it. 79 Rams. All right, so. And you know what's funny? I guarantee you right now, people at home are thinking, Mike, if you're going to talk about Rams running backs, how are you going to pass up on Lawrence McCutcheon? I know people are thinking that right now. I know our friend Valkyrie Harper is thinking that. She's up there in Canada, and she's saying to herself, oh, if only Mike would talk about Lawrence McCutcheon. Here it is. Our friend Katherine Johnson in Toronto is just like, how does he not bring up Lawrence McCutcheon? Here it is for you. Will you calm down? Did you think I wouldn't get to Lawrence McCutcheon? And sure, there's some among you out there who are like, why doesn't he talk about Eric Dickerson? You know why I don't talk about Eric Dickerson? Go watch the 1985 NFC Championship game and watch him pussy out against the 85 Bears. Now, granted, the 85 Bears were a machine, and no matter who went up against them was going to get fucking steamrolled. Dieter Brock, Eric Dickerson. It didn't matter who you brought to the table. Fuck, the game before that, Phil Simms went into a frigid Chicago and had a terrible fucking game. But that's why I don't talk about Eric Dickerson. You know why? Because he's full of glory. I go Wendell Tyler, Cullen Bryant. I go old school. Although Lawrence McCutcheon's probably more old school than that. I hear you, Valkyrie. I hear you, Catherine. There's your Lawrence McCutcheon. Take it. You know, our friend Valkyrie Harper has a company now. She's like making stuff. It's called Valkyrie Harper Press. You can go like that on Facebook. It is a printing company, and she prints stickers of Lawrence McCutcheon. So you should check that out. That's why I knew she was at home right now. She's like, how is he not going to bring up Lawrence McCutcheon? This makes no sense. And I know the next question, Valkyrie, I hear you right now. I hear you both and Catherine. I don't know what it is with you and Canada and the Rams, but I know you're both like, when is he going to talk about Jim and Jack Youngblood? Well, let's bring them up now. Anyway, you know, Jack Youngblood played the Super Bowl on a broken leg.
No, I didn't know.
Not to be confused with Tim Krumrie, who broke his leg at the Super Bowl. That was when the Bengals played the Niners. Not the first time, the second time. Look, the first time the Niners played the Bengals, Pete Johnson was stopped at the goal line on a goal line stand by Hacksaw Reynolds and the rest of the Niner defense as the Bill Walsh dynasty kicked off. But then later, as the Bill Walsh dynasty came to a close, in a stunning example of symmetry, the Niners defeated the Bengals in the Super Bowl again as Joe Montana led a last-minute drive and hit John Taylor for the winning touchdown in the closing seconds. And that was after Stanford Jennings had returned a kickoff for a touchdown for the Cincinnati Bengals. Only the second time in the history of the Super Bowl that a kickoff had been returned for a touchdown. The first time, you got it, Fulton Walker of the Miami Dolphins against the Washington Redskins in the strike-shortened season of 1982. When John Riggins, the Diesel, went off tackle and tore through the Killer Bees defense and scored for the Redskins, leading them to the championship, led by Joe Theismann. And I believe Joe Washington. How stunning is that symmetry that Joe Washington would be on the Washington Redskins when they won a Super Bowl? And then we go to 1983, the Washington Redskins looking to repeat in the Super Bowl, but who did they run into? The fucking steamroller of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Oh, Christ.
Jim Plunkett, Marcus Allen with that fucking 74-yard back-and-forth spinorama in the backfield. Oh, my God, it's unbelievable. Perhaps the greatest play in Super Bowl history. Certainly, if you're a Raider fan, it's up there. But I'll tell you what, not even my favorite Raider play in that game. I got to go Jack Squirick picking off the rocket screen at the end of the first half and giving the Raiders a huge lead at halftime that was insurmountable for the Redskin machine. as Jack Squirick, linebacker, unheralded linebacker, picks off a screen pass in the flat and runs it in untouched for a touchdown. And then it's a fame because Charlie Sumner. All right, look. Here's the thing, folks. The Raiders had played the Redskins earlier that year, and the Redskins had run that play. So then later on in the season in the Super Bowl, Charlie Sumner, defensive wizard, knew that it was going to happen, and he positioned Jack Squirick and told him to watch the rocket screen. Sure enough, he did. Touchdown, Squirick. Punctuated by a beautiful shot of Matt Millen lifting Charlie Sumner up on the sideline to celebrate. You hate the show, and that's fine. I don't know what made me want to vomit old football on everybody, but I am, and I did. All right. So I get this call from the IRS, right? Not a call. I apologize. I owe them money. And they're like, dude, you owe us totally money. And I said, absolutely. I get that. So I'm paying, and I decided to make an installment agreement with the IRS. I don't know if you guys have ever been in debt to the IRS. It's not fun. Because the IRS decides that, oh, that's right, you're going to make an installment agreement. We're going to penalize you and add interest to every month's payment. So say you owe them an amount, I'm going to just give a ballpark amount here, $4,000. And you make an installment agreement where you're going to pay, I don't know, $100 a month. Well, you're paying $100 a month, but they're charging you $65 a month in penalties and interest. So you're really only chipping $35 a month off that $4,000. You are basically in IRS jail until you pay the full amount. Now, I've done this before. A few years ago, I think I told you when I was rich and I was writing on a television show, I lived like I was rich and decided not to care about the taxes. So I claimed 0 or I claimed 10 or whatever the fuck. I always forget. What is the one that gets you the most in your check? Because again, it's been so long since I've had a real fucking gig. Yeah, it's like you claim 0 and you're married and they withhold the least from your check. So when I was making $4,000 a week, I did that. And so I was bringing home like $3,100 or $3,200 a week. And then at the end of the year, they're like, hey, you owe the IRS $27,000. And I said, gulp. And I luckily had some money in the bank. And I paid them and I paid the state and I paid whoever I had to pay. But then I was in an installment agreement. But I was able to wind up getting another gig and we paid that off and everything was fine. Good. Because you don't want to stay in debt to the government too long. But so now I'm in it again. And I hate it. I paid the state last year, but I had to take the IRS deal. And also, as you know, my wife and I were not working. I had just lost my gig. And Karen was just on God's good humor for a couple of years. So good for her. And so we had to make an installment agreement, and I had to shoot for like a low amount to pay every month, so I could make sure that we made the payment. Because you don't want to miss payments to the government because they have no sense of humor about that. Let's be honest, nobody really has a sense of humor about you missing payments to them, as I'm finding out every single day. But I can tell you that the government really seems to care, because they've got roads to fix. And, I don't know, bankers to pay. I have no idea what they do with my money. All I know is I'm sure they put it to good use fixing bridges. So I'm paying a certain amount every month. And now as we know, my butler quit. So she has to give me her half of the installment agreement into our joint bank account, and then I make that payment. So I've been making the payments, and I told her, I go, like, look, if something happens and you have a windfall and you can pay your half, that makes sense to get out of it, because we're not making any headway. In fact, I will tell you this, folks, my installment agreement, the amount that I pay every month is actually so low, I'm not even covering the penalties and interest. It's so low, I can't believe the IRS agreed to this number. The only reason they did it was because they knew they could bleed me dry, I suppose. Or they were asleep at the switch. I can't tell you. They were distracted. So I've paid the installment agreement month after month after month. Now here we are in July. I've been paying it for 7 months. And I went to leave my house the other day and headed to the gym. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I went to go to the gym and there was a knock on my door and I opened it up and it's my postman in his pith helmet, which I guess keeps the sun off of him or makes him think that he's stalking jungle prey when he's delivering bills. I don't know. I'm going to guess the latter because he does also carry a whip and a chair. Perhaps, look, I got to be honest. If I was walking through 95-degree weather, bringing Smart and Final circulars to people who were just going to throw them in the garbage immediately, I think I would pretend I was in a safari myself. So he knocks on the door. He's got a certified letter for me, and I see it's from the IRS, and that's probably not good news. That's my guess. So I didn't want to sign for it, but I did. And I took the letter inside and I opened it up, and it said, your installment agreement is null and void because you have missed 3 payments in a row. You now owe all of the money right this second. I'm paraphrasing. They had a lot of legalese in there, but the bottom line is they want their fucking money now. And I fucking, look, when you get that note, all right, and look, I'm on my way to the gym to meet with my trainer. Okay, so there are people waiting on me. But when you get that note, all you want to do is call the fucking government immediately and go, what the fuck is going on? So I had to call my gym and try to postpone my thing until later in the day. And he said, no problem, come when you can. And so I hung up, and then I called the government immediately. And this was Monday. And I called all day, and it kept saying, due to extreme volume of calls, we can't take your call. Now, that's not the first thing they say. The first thing they do is they ask you who you are, and then they ask your social security number, and then they ask you to press 1 for English, and then they ask you to press 1 for a department of this, and they ask 1. So you got to go through the whole voicemail jungle. I wanted to borrow the whip and the chair from my fucking mailman. Mailman? Because that's his name. It's Bob Mailman. He brings my mail to me. Mailman. He's a superhero, not a guy. So I, sure enough, I called the government, and I called them for 15 minutes, and it keeps saying you have to call Tuesday or Wednesday because we have too many calls. And so I called the gym, and I rescheduled my trainer to go there, and I just got in the car and I drove, and went and worked out. And then came home and tried them again and said, you got to call Tuesday or Wednesday. So then I woke up yesterday, Tuesday, and I called, and it said you have to call Wednesday or Thursday. And I called all day yesterday, and it didn't happen. And so then I got up today, Wednesday, and I called all afternoon. And again, they're not answering. The IRS is not answering their phone. They are busy auditing the poor. I don't know what they're doing. They're busy sending out false notices, because I'll tell you what, I went immediately and I pulled out all my receipts that reflected that I paid it. I've got my bank statements that reflected that I've paid it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because when you're in a dispute with the government, you could have all the paperwork in the world and they could just go, fuck you, give us our money. And I don't know what to do about that, because will I then go to jail? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? It makes no sense to put me in jail, because then you really don't get your money at all. Maybe you get half of it from Karen. Maybe what if she steps up? What if she goes, here's my half. Screw that asshole. I don't know. I don't know what could happen. I could either wind up in jail, or it's a coin flip at this point, folks. It's 50-50. Heads, I stay out to try to get a hobo job and pay them off, or tails, I just wind up in the clink. I don't know how debtor's prison works. But I'll tell you what, as an independent podcaster, it scares the hell out of me. If I was in the podcasting union, I would just turn it over to their lawyers, and I'm sure they would hash the whole thing out and everything would be perfect, because I'd have an endorsement deal with big companies and Coke and whoever the fuck else. But instead, here I sit, folks, endorsed by tweakedaudio.com, who's very nice to do so. And then no one else endorses us. Yet. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before the National Football League contacts me. Or perhaps Frank Manamaluga and Lance Mel have teamed up in a business venture and want to get me on board. Perhaps that's the case. Me and Bill Fries will don our jerseys and do commercials for them on YouTube. Oh my God, it's perfect. Manamaluga and Mel Esquire. I hear Lance Mel now. No, it's Mel and Manamaluga Esquire. Fine, Mel. The only thing, here's the victory I bring from this show. Knowing that some of you are Googling Manamaluga. That's the only thing I care about. So that's that's where I'm at with the IRS. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, folks. I'm frightened. I'm scared. Because already, as you know, my situation is tenuous. We don't know what's happening. The whole thing's a bubble waiting to burst. And I'm still wading through the nonsense, and it's all going to happen. As soon as I can get a lawyer who's not tending for a sick friend, I'll be able to talk to somebody and get things squared away. But, right now, who knows? Eventually, you guys may get a call from me. Maybe, Valkyrie, if you sell enough Lawrence McCutcheon stickers, I'll hit you up for a loan. But yeah, I don't know what's going to fucking happen with the IRS. I don't know. And like I said, I've been going to the gym. I'll tell you this. I go to the gym and I'm lifting and doing cardio, whatever the fuck. I'm losing weight. It's fine. I'm excited. But I have a trainer, and I don't eat. And Lily's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And if you think Lily's concerned about it, my trainer is really concerned about it. Because I told him, I was asking for nutritional tips. And I'm like, here, hey, I eat like a couple pieces of toast or a yogurt every day. And he's like, yeah, is that like in the morning before you come here? And I go, no, that's kind of all day. Like I don't really eat before the workout, and then I come here and I work out, and then I'm gassed up and I'm ganked because I don't want to eat. I want to lose weight. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get fuckable, as we all know. And so he's like, dude, you can't do that. That's not healthy or good. And I said, yeah, it says you. I said, here's the problem. He's like, well, you know, you got to take in certain calories. I go, no, I don't want to take in any calories because I'm a healthy guy trapped in a fat suit, and that's my own fault. You know what I mean? I put the fat suit on. I've worn it. It's like, you know how people have ankle weights? I have like a big, huge ankle weight strapped around my gut and underneath it, there's a 6-pack, an 8-pack, a 12-pack. Who the fuck knows? But we won't know until we get to unwrap it. How many fucking licks does it take to get the center of Mike Schmidt's gut? I don't know. We're going to find out, goddammit, Mr. Owl. So, but I need to lose that. And that's the thing is I want to lose that before I can actually, because I'm not really accomplishing anything when I lift and do that. I mean, I'm building muscle, but it's underneath a layer of nonsense that nobody wants to see. I mean, I look like David Lee Roth in the Going Crazy video, for fuck's sake. Peel him out. There's a David Lee Roth underneath here waiting to fucking come out, folks. In fucking crazy baggy pants and a newsboy hat. I don't care. I'm ready. But I told my trainer, I'm like, dude, I just want to lose all this weight first, and then because then the workouts get serious, and then you're actually building muscle and making yourself look good. He's like, well, yeah, but you have to eat things because otherwise your muscles start cannibalizing themselves and it turns into a mess. And I'm like, all right, well, all right. Here's the thing. I said I had salad last night with a little chicken in it. He's like, that's good. What did you have like for breakfast and lunch? Nothing. You can't do that, Mike. And again, he's 22. What the fuck does he know? He has no idea. Just because he wears a shirt that says trainer, I can't believe this guy. I should talk to a chef. A chef would know what I was supposed to eat, right? Wouldn't they know? Some sort of personal guru? I need a guru. That's what I need, folks. I need a fucking Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. That's what I need. What's he doing? Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Is he dead? He died, right? I don't know.
Was he baseball?
Yeah, he's a football player. Played for the Raiders. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. Actually, that's what my neighbor chants when he goes into his Buddhist phrase. Just Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. He does all that fucking yang gong, all that. Oh, I hate it. All right. You think guitar is annoying? Come over and fucking visit Gandhi for a while. Gandhi's not a Buddhist. I know Gandhi's not a Buddhist. Was he? I don't even know. I know Lawrence McCutcheon was a ram. I know Big John Henry was a man. He was a big man with an eye like an eagle. Wasn't that the song? I don't know. He had a big steam engine, right? Didn't he fight against a plow and then he died at the end of it? But he won. He fucking won. That's who I am. The fucking big steam engine is Big Podcast. And I'm just fucking John Henry. And I'm digging through the woods and at the end of it, I'll die. But so what? I fought the good fight. I cleared the forest. I did the whole thing myself. I used to like John Henry beans when I was a kid. The Big John beans. I don't know if they were John Henry beans, but there was a beans called Big John. Here's why I liked them. I don't care for beans so much because beans are just squish and skin. Although that's changed as I've gotten older. I don't mind beans. But when I was a kid, I hated beans. I didn't like baked beans. It was just like it's something about a sweet dinner side dish. I didn't care for it. But my Uncle John made amazing beans. And I wonder if by proxy I loved my Uncle John's beans because as a kid, the only beans I would eat were Big John's beans. Like you could buy Vandekamp beans or all sorts of I just did not like those. But Big John beans were in a can and there was a Big John dude on the can. And here was the best part about Big John beans. They had a supplemental can with like spices in it. And it tricked me into thinking they were better for some reason. Because pork and beans were just pork and beans. And the thing that made me sick about pork and beans was that hunk of fucking congealed pig inside of it. And it was like, yay, that's all the flavor. And I'm like, no, that's a fucking pig tooth. Get it out of here. I'm not eating these fucking beans. I don't want that. You got a fucking trotter and a can full of beans. I'm not eating it. However, Big John beans were just beans with like it was like a duplex. It was like a fucking duplex of beans because on the lower level was just beans, but living on the upper floor was like a paste, a sauce that you put in Big John's beans to make it tastier and at least trick me, young me, into thinking that those beans were good. And I liked the label. It was blue. Everybody else was like red. They were like pork and beans is red, and yes, that's what we all have to be the same. Big John had a picture of Big John and like a blue label. If you got a guy in a lumberjack shirt, I'm buying your product. Brawny paper towels, Big John beans, lumberjack bacon, I'm buying it all. Crunchy frosted lumberjack O's, I'll buy it. If it's a cereal with a fucking lumberjack dude on it, I'm picking it up. Are you looking up Big John beans?
I am. There's a can that's on top of the can.
See?
Yeah.
That's why I liked them as a kid. Folks, I have to be honest with you. I came here today to tell you we have a new sponsor. It's Big John Beans. This entire thing has been leading up to the revelation that Big John Beans was back in business and donating to the show. And it's about time, because I'll tell you what, as a child, I spent millions of dollars on Big John Beans. That seems high. But really, is there any sum total that's high enough to pay for Mystery Can? I don't think so. Because you knew one can was full of beans, and then living on the top floor right there in the penthouse, in the bean penthouse, there was a mystery can. You didn't know what the fuck was in it, but they said, hey, throw it in the beans. It'll make it that much tastier. And fuck me if it didn't. Beans are beans are beans. But you open a mystery can, you throw the contents in the beans, it makes it something more than beans. It's beans squared. It's beans plus. Yeah. All right. So my trainer's like, dude, you can't do that. You've got to eat stuff. And he tells me, because here's the thing. We're kind of at odds. We're close. We're very close in our negotiations. He wants me to eat 5 meals a day. And I want to eat nothing. He's like, dude, you got to eat just 5 meals. I'm like, what, 5 meals? That seems crazy. He's like, no, it keeps your metabolism going. And I'm like, well, dude, but I'm trying to lose weight. He goes, you will. He goes, it keeps the fire burning and everything's rolling and you're doing your cardio, you're lifting, that's fine. Put forth the effort, but then you've got to eat too. It kind of goes hand in hand. And I'm like, I'm going to keep my hands out of it. I'm just going to go ahead and come here and lift weights and then not eat ever. That's what I choose to do. And that's hard to do because guess where I work, folks? I work in the middle of a fucking smokehouse. I work in a place where you can eat the smells. I mean, honestly, it's the best smelling building on the block. When you park on where I work and you get out of the car, you're just like, oh yeah, this is. I have to dodge floating dogs who are floating in and doing their Muttley laugh because they smell it and they're like, and they just float inside because the meat smell is just permeating the earth. It's delicious. It's all right. You remember there's a famous scene in, I think it's Aladdin, where somebody falls down and then smoke goes into the air and it actually spells out the word sex. Because the Disney animators were having fun. Look it up, because there's that website where it tells you all the weird Disney shit. And the rescuers, they flew by on a magic carpet and there's a naked woman in the window. You know all that shit from the old days. Yeah. It is. It's totally true. They actually go frame by frame. It's like Jessica Rabbit's not wearing underwear. I've talked about this. But in Aladdin, somebody falls down and the smoke goes in the air and it spells out the word sex. Well, that's what the smoke from my barbecue house spells. It just says sex over the building. That's all it is. And so I have to dodge the food. And here's the thing too. I actually get along with everybody there now, which is great. But they make everything from scratch, especially the macaroni and cheese. They make that every day. So at the end of the night, if there's leftover food, they just go, who wants this? They want everybody to take it. Well, I was at work, and one of the cooks is a guy named Marcelo. He's a cool guy. The kitchen guys like me, which is nice. And that's always good because, again, I hate when the kitchen guys have to cook for you. It's always good to be their friend or be on their good side because otherwise they resent you if you're just a dick about it. So I always thank them for dinner if they're going to make me anything, which I did, 2 weeks ago when I was eating, but I'm not eating anymore. But this happened. I was leaving. I was there late at night and they're closing, and they said, "Hey, we got all this leftover food. Who wants some?" And they said, "Mike, do you want to bring some macaroni and cheese home?" And I felt stupid saying no. So I said, "Yeah, I guess so." But the thing is, I'm the new guy, so they want to be nice to me. So they just started filling bags with food. So they gave me 2 huge pints of macaroni and cheese, pints of pork and beans, fucking potato salad and rice, and they're just putting it in, and they hand it to me, and I'm like, even if I wasn't going to the gym and not eating, even if I wasn't on a fucking Bobby Sands hunger strike, there is no way I would eat all of this fucking food. I mean, it's just me, for fuck's sake. But they hand me 2 giant bags of chow. And I look at them and I'm like, this is a lot of food. They're like, no, take it. You'll enjoy it. And one of the girls who works there walks up to me. She goes, it's okay. They do it all the time. She goes, it's because you're new. They want you to try everything. But you know what? If you don't want to eat it, just find a homeless person and give it to them on the way home. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do is go hobo shopping at 11 o'clock at night. That's like trapping raccoons. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to walk out there with fucking containers of beans and be like, here, Mel. Here, Mel. Wait a minute. Why is Lance Mel homeless? He shouldn't be homeless. Here, Pistol Pete. Why is there a hobo? I don't even know. I can't think of a hobo name. I cannot think of an appropriate hobo name. Hey, Boxcar Willie. Hey, Steamboat Jones. I got macaroni and cheese for you. And then that's awful because I told you that one time there was when we lived in Hollywood, Lenny and I walked out of the hotel once, and this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, buddy, spare a smoke?" And Lenny's like, "Yeah." And Lenny tore the top off of his cigarette pack, and it was like a dog whistle for homeless people because they came out of the earth. It looked like Feeding Time and Escape from New York when the fucking crazies come up from the sewers, or it looked like the Thriller video when the zombies came out to dance because all of a sudden homeless people came out of every fucking nook and cranny, and basically Lenny gave away an entire pack of cigarettes. So now if I do that, if I show up in the middle of Hobo Town with a couple of sacks of chow and I'm fucking Santa Beans, I can't fucking do that. I'm going to get tackled by these because, again, if I don't, here's the thing. Worst case scenario, I give all the food away. They're still hungry homeless. My neck tastes like beans. We've already established that. I'm going down and getting tackled, and I'm going to get torn apart, fucking Suddenly Last Summer style. I will not venture into the hobo ocean with a fucking couple of bags full of chow. Santa Beans does not work that way.
Oh my god.
So my trainer's like, dude, you got to eat, man. You got to eat 5 meals a day. I'm like, what's a meal to you? Seriously, you're thin and in good shape. He's like, well, I go, what if I had like a banana and some almonds? He goes, yeah, actually that works. You know, you can do that and space that out over a couple hours. I go, and I can have some fruit. I'll mix some protein in there. I said, I'm going to have protein shakes. Is that okay? He goes, yeah. And I go, I was warned because I put a lot of fruit in my protein shakes. He goes, well, just don't go overboard and don't drink 3 of them a day and you'll be fine. I said, my schedule is really weird. So I wound up eating late at night before I go to sleep. I know you're not supposed to eat before you go to sleep. He's like, no, that's kind of a myth. As long as you eat the right thing and you're okay and you're working out, it's all right. I said, okay. He goes, don't eat like a gallon of ice cream. And I go, dude, I don't eat fucking anything. I eat nothing. And he's like, well, you can't do that. So I was working out, and I came in to work out yesterday. And he's like, what'd you eat today? And I go, nothing. He goes, what'd you eat yesterday? I said, well, I had nothing. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, no, I had a Chobani yogurt. I'm fine. He goes, you're not fine. You got to keep eating. You're going to die. I said, well, put that in the book. Because at my gym, I have a workout book, which is the dumbest fucking thing in the world, that I have to bring in because they measured me and did all my fucking, my weight and height and all that bullshit. And they want to show you your progress as you lift. So I have to bring in a workbook. Look, I hate going to the gym already, bringing in a towel and water and carrying headphones and my iPod. But now I have to carry homework, which is the dumbest thing in the fucking world. And it's fine. I hand it to my trainer when I walk in, and he's the one who makes all the notations. So I finished lifting yesterday. I'm just gassed. I fucking planked out and did a few things. And what did we do yesterday? Just legs. So I was doing fucking squats and running stairs and just brutal. But it doesn't matter because I'll tell you what, folks, nothing feels that good. That walk from the gym to your car, because I finished working out, we busted hard, and then I wind up on the bike for 10 miles or walking 2 miles on the treadmill, and you're just fucking soaked. Like you can wring your clothes out. And you're it's like your body is just hanging and you're going on autopilot to walk out because you've lost control of your muscles. You're fucking vibrating and you're gassed up and your fucking arms are ganked and hard. And there's no better feeling than that. None. And so you walk, it's funny, I do that slow walk through the gym, got to go to the locker and grab stuff. And I keep walking and say goodbye to people. And I grab my book. And I make it to the parking lot, out into the sun. You feel the fucking wind on you, and you're soaked. So it's like it kind of rejuvenates you. And then I get in the car and I open up my weight book and because I had never looked. I don't look in there. He's writing down all the shit that we did. So I just was curious and I opened up the book and I looked. And on that day he had written all the things that we did, and underneath it he wrote, "Don't die. Eat something." Which is good. That's sound advice from a trainer. I won't lie. Because I said to him, I go, you write that in the book. Make sure you write down "don't die." Because he had said it to me, and sure enough, there it was written in the book, "Don't die." Good for him. Good for you, John. I actually had to switch gyms. I'll tell you this, because I told you Richard, you guys all know Richard was the trainer that that was my guy. Well, then I went to that gym where Richard was, and he's no longer there. He got transferred to a different gym, and he's actually running it. Well, good for him. So I had to deal with their new trainers, and I hated them. They were these young kids, and this guy, I pay, as you know, I bought a ton of sessions. And then they sat stagnant for a year. So then I went to go meet the new trainers over there, and they introduced me. There was the guy who runs that gym said, "Hey, I got 2 guys that I think you'd be good with. You got to talk to them." So I met the first kid, and I said to him, I go, "Look, here's the thing. I got no interest in you putting me on a treadmill and ignoring me. I got no interest in you going, let's do 20 push-ups and then do some jumping jacks." And I go, that shit I can do on my own. I said, I want to push iron around. I want to lift weights and do that. And I will do cardio on my own. We can mix some cardio in as well, but it's more important for me to be really pushing iron around. And he goes, "Yeah, well, you know what? I have a plan that we'll follow, and we'll go ahead and do it." I go, "I understand you have a plan, but I'm telling you what I want. What I want is I want to lift weights. Because, and I go, this is going to sound weird to you because you're 21. I want to feel like a man. I want to hit things. I want to lift things. I don't want to be, told that, oh, let's go do a leg lift. I mean, I can do that shit on my own. So I want to make sure that I want to be aggressive. And I will do what I'm told, but I want to do it in the weight room, and I want to do that. And then I'll do cardio as well before and after, and we'll figure that out. And he goes, well, that's fine that you think that, but what I'm going to do is we'll start out slow doing this. And I go, that's not what I want. I'm telling you what I want to do. And he goes, okay, well, that's fine. We'll definitely do some of that. But in the beginning, I'm going to have to do some things where, maybe you'll jog around the track a little bit. And I'm like, okay, it was nice meeting you. Thanks. And I walked away, and I went to the manager and I said, that guy's not for me. Who's the other guy? And that other guy was not there, so I had to wait 20 minutes. And when he showed up, he was a nice kid, and I met him, and he was like, oh, man, I'd love to help you. That's great. Give me your phone number. And then a week passed, and he never called me. So then I went to a different gym. And then I walked in, and I met this guy, Jeremiah, who was their Richard. Because he looked at me, and he goes, yeah, we're doing this. Whatever you need, whatever you want. He goes, I have 3 people I think would work well with you. You can actually work with all of them during the week, depending on how many things you want. And also, we just hired a new girl who's going to start a yoga class here. Would you be interested in that? You can do yoga with her beforehand, and then you can train with her after. I said, done. I'm in. Whatever the fuck you want to do, I'm in. I said, and again, because I don't fuck around. Like, I tell them flat out, look, I need somebody who's involved in me and what I do. I don't want to just be a face or a number, just another fat guy who came in and is a failure. I need that guy to care that I actually get somewhere. Like, if I was going to be on his resume, I want to be his living resume. I want him to go for another job and go, I turned this into this, and show them me. That's what I want. And he got it. That was the best part of that guy. Jeremiah goes, yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. And he introduced me to this guy, John, and John's been great. And so I'm into it. It's so much better when it's like that, because then you're into it when they're into it. When he cares, you care, and you care, everybody cares. We know that. So it's important to have that happen. So I'm doing that, and it's working, sort of, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But at least, but dealing with people in person is different than dealing with people on the phone. As I mentioned, like when I called, I haven't even gotten to deal with the IRS yet on the phone. I've had a fucked week on the phone, God damn it. I want, all right, I'll tell you this. I'm broke, and I'm trying to figure out all different ways to fucking cut expenses and figure out how to save money. So I have DirecTV. All right. And that's an expense, but I can't, and you're going to yell at me. I fucking get it. But it's like, I can't just say, I won't have TV ever. That's not reasonable. That doesn't make any sense. If I was 20, I guess that would be because everybody's doing it now with Netflix and whatever the fuck. I'm old. I need to watch Dragnet. I mean, I just have to have a fucking television. And I need to watch sports. Look, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a fan of sports. Maybe not so much now as I was back in the 80s and the 90s, because I could tell you, look, if you wanted to talk 80s and 90s sports, I could talk your ear off, folks. I don't know if I've ever done that for you, but one day we'll sit down. One day I'll just do a show, and I'll devote it to 80s sports. You'll be surprised at how much I know. You'll be even more surprised at how much I know on the fly. Because I can tell you what, if we were talking about 80s football, I could bring a bunch of names out, and you would think, does he have a list of those names in front of him? And I go, no, I don't have a piece of paper that has Billy Sims' name on it. Why would I have that? Well, no, I don't have Tommy Kramer and Darren Nelson written down. Why would I talk about old Minnesota Vikings right off of a list? I wouldn't write them down. I wouldn't prepare that for you. I would bring them right out of my head. Why would I talk about Sammy White in the 1976 Super Bowl getting smashed by George Atkinson and Jack Tatum and his helmet flying off looking like he got his head kicked off? Seriously, the announcers thought Sammy White was decapitated by George Atkinson and Jack Tatum. Chuck Noll called them thugs. I called them Oakland Raiders. So, folks, I called DirecTV. Here's the thing. My friend Chip Chinnery, we all know Chip. He has a website called Chip's Money Tips. And Chip's Money Tips are great if you have money. If you don't have money, it's awesome content to read and have fun enjoying, but it doesn't help you because Chip's got money and he wants to help you with your money. Chip does not have Chip's No Money Tips. He should. Because I'll tell you what, that's where we're trending these days. That's where America's going, to no money. So Chip should have Chip's No Money Tips. I can tell you one of Mike's No Money Tips. Don't eat. Unless it's the free food from your work. And then you just got to fight a hobo with like 2 raccoons finding a fish bone in a fucking garbage can. So I called DirecTV because Chip had a tutorial. He's like, here's how you save some money at DirecTV. And I was like, that's interesting. So I called DirecTV because what you can do is you can talk to them. I did the same thing with my phone. I should tell you this. I have a home phone. So I was trying to figure out how to save money there because they were charging me a certain amount and I already have a cell phone. And I know a lot of people have dropped their landline and gone right to a cell phone, which is smart. But I need a landline because I have DirecTV, duh, and they need to check and get all sorts of information. And also I have the internet. So with the internet, I use my phone company, and it's all one big bundle, folks. So I kept calling AT&T to try to save money, and they would save me money. But they would go, all right, well, you know what? We'll knock this much off your internet for 6 months. But then at the end of the 6 months, my bill just went back crazy again. So this time I called them and I was serious. I called AT&T and I'm like, hey, look, I need to leave. I need to give up the landline. I need to figure out how to stay with just the internet. I mean, because I'm paying this and I already have a cell phone with you guys. And they were so accommodating and so nice at AT&T that I may re-up my cell contract with them. I swear to God, I've always talked badly about them because I liked Sprint and I liked whoever. Dude, AT&T came through for me because they cut my bill like almost by 2/3 and said, do you want to be in the U-verse? And I said, I don't give a fuck. Does it save me money? And they said, yes. I said, great. So they bundled like my home phone in with my computer, and everything is cheaper. It's like infinitely cheaper, which is crazy. So I called DirecTV with the same idea because Chip wrote in his Chip's Money Tips that he had done the same thing. And he's like, the important thing to do when you call is you ask for customer retention. That's who you talk to. You don't talk to anybody else other than customer retention. So I was ready. Called up DirecTV, and I got a nice young lady whose name I won't. Well, I can give her name, Elaine. Why wouldn't I give her name? It's not like you're going to find her. Hey, who was that cunt at DirecTV? Elaine, whatever. I called her up and I said, hey, Elaine, how are you? And I gave my name and they asked your customer number. And I said, here's the thing. I need to speak to customer retention. She goes, I don't know who that is. I said, well, I'd like to speak to your customer retention department. She goes, sir, we don't have a customer retention department. I said, yes, you do. I spoke to them in March. So if you're telling me within 3 months you've eliminated the customer retention department, I'll believe it, but it seems odd and weird that you would do that as a company. And she said, sir, I can't help you. I'm sorry, there is no customer retention department. What can I do for you? And now I'm getting a little pissed, but I figure, all right, well, maybe they've folded it within the customer service group. I don't know. So I said, all right, I need you to convince me not to cancel DirecTV. She says, well, why would you do that? I said, well, because the bill is much larger than I need it to be. My work is taking me away from television, and so I'm not watching anything. I find myself really only watching like 10 channels, and those are the ones that I need, and you charge me for 180, which is fine. I understand that, and that's cool. That's your deal. And people always wish they had an a la carte cable or satellite service, and I understand that doesn't exist. But I'm telling you that unless I make some changes here, I'm going to have to cancel my DirecTV, and I want you to tell me what you can do for me to make sure I don't do that. She goes, well, what did you have in mind? Elaine, what I had in mind was talking to the customer retention department. But you tell me they don't exist. So I'm dumping this on Elaine's plate. She goes, well, I don't know what you're looking for. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I have the NFL Sunday ticket package where I get the football games. She goes, I see that. And I said, I need to cancel that right now. She goes, oh, you don't like football anymore? I said, no, Elaine, I love football. If you don't believe me, check out my podcast this week. But unfortunately, my work takes me away from the television on Sundays, and I won't be home to watch the game, so it doesn't make any sense to pay for them. I told you earlier about my work, didn't I, Elaine? She said, yes, that's fine. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cancel that. So you don't want to have football anymore. You don't want, so it's very convenient to have the football in your house. You do realize that. I said, I know you have a script where you have to try to talk me into keeping it or try to resell it, but I'm telling you I don't need it. She goes, okay. I said, so that's eliminated that expense. Can you look at my bill right now? I said, I've looked at the packages and switching. I go, unfortunately, like I said, I watch 10 channels, but one of them is in a tier that I might need to keep, but I'm wondering if there's a way I can switch this. I need you to tell me what the possibilities are. And she said, okay, let me take a look. And I hear, she hits a bunch of computer buttons for about 5 seconds. And she goes, sir, I'm looking at your bill and there's really nothing I can do to help you. And I said, I'm sorry, excuse me? She goes, yes, I'm looking. There's nothing I can do to help you. I said, there's nothing at all. You don't suggest another plan. You don't suggest waiving a fee. You don't care that a customer of 15 years is on the phone with you telling you that he's having a crisis in confidence in your product and he wants you to tell him why he should stay and make it worth his while to keep your satellite dish and use your programming. You're telling me you can't help me. She goes, no, I can't. And now I was playing Jagoff poker. Clearly, I was playing Jagoff poker because I don't want to cancel the service. I was hoping that she would find a way to give me even $15 a month off the bill, whatever the fuck they have to do to inspire me to stick around. She's basically saying, fuck you, you'll do what we say. And I have no alternative at that point except to cancel DirecTV. I've been a customer since 1997. I was the first guy in my apartment complex. I may have been the first person in any apartment complex in America to get fucking DirecTV because it was strictly for houses because apartments didn't want holes drilled and all these cords and bullshit. And I convinced my landlord that it would be a good move. And when I did it, 8 other people in the building got it. So really, DirecTV, I'm responsible for not only me, but at least 8 other customers who went ahead and got your fucking service because I fought. I stood up. I was the Norma Ray who rang the satellite dish bell, and I got the fucking service in my apartment complex. And you're telling me you can't fucking keep me? You can't give me $15 off a fucking month when I got 8 people paying the fucking bill? I was stunned. And so I kind of hemmed and hawed because she called my bluff. She completely called it. And I just went, so there's nothing. You can't give me $1 off my bill. She goes, no, I'm sorry, I can't. And you're telling me there's not a customer retention service? No, I'm sorry. This is what you have, sir. This is your bill. If you'd like to change it or cancel it, that's fine. I said, all right, well, I'll just make arrangements to cancel the service. She goes, all right, great. Is there anything I can help you with? No, we're done. Thanks, Elaine. Thank you for calling DirecTV. And I hung up. And I sat there at the desk, stunned, because again, I had gone all in with a pair of kings, and Elaine flipped over pocket aces. So I, unfortunately, like a child, immediately called Chip, the head of Chip's Money Tips. And I called his cell phone, and Chip, by the way, is a very successful actor and entrepreneur. Chip's on the set of a television show when I call, but he still answers the phone. And I go, hey, what's happening? Is this the head of Chip's Money Tips? He goes, yes, it is. Say, I got a question. I go, you sent out a thing for Chip's Money Tips telling us how to negotiate with DirecTV and how you were able to save money on your fees. And I should tell you this, by the way. Let's go ahead and go back in time. Chip has done this before with DirecTV in a way that fooled all of us. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I think it was the World Cup. Something got black. Oh, no. I apologize. It was like a television show, not Breaking Bad, but something got. There was a dispute, a rights dispute with Fox or a rights dispute with some channel. And we lost for 2 weeks. We lost that channel. Do you remember what it was, Lily?
Fox. We lost Fox.
It was Fox. Yeah. Okay. And there was a dispute where it was like they were fighting over fees. Yep. And so we lost Fox for like 2 weeks in Los Angeles. And when that happened, Chip Chinnery called them and he got 3 months taken off of his bill. And he told us that at poker. And I almost went, what the fuck? Because Pat has DirecTV. Siegel's got DirecTV. I got DirecTV. So I was like, well, what did you do? And I said, I called up and I said that was unacceptable. And I talked to them and they gave me 3 months off my bill. So we all went our separate ways that night after the poker game. And then via email chain, all of us discussed our varying results. I don't think Pat even participated, but Siegel and I called. Siegel called. He got $5 off his bill. $5. Chip Chinnery got 3 free months of DirecTV. Siegel got $5. Same thing. Same process, same protest. So he writes an email, and I see that. So I call. You know what I got? Nothing. They said they would give me like the Animal Planet for free for a month or some bullshit, some channel I don't have. Or it was the Movie Channel. They said they'd give me 2 weeks of the Movie Channel to make it for the 2 weeks of Fox that I'd missed. And I'm just like, you're fucking joking. You can flip a switch. You can do all that. What? You're crazy, right? So I got 0. I got the Movie Channel for 2 weeks. So great. I got to watch Beastmaster every fucking hour. So Chip has the magic touch with these people because he's a grown up. I'm a child. Again, like I said, I don't know how to do these things. I had to call Chip to beg for information. So I told him, I go, dude, I called this woman and her name was Elaine, and they told me there was no customer retention. And he goes, well, that's a lie. I said, okay, but I insisted on it. I go, it wasn't like I let it pass. I said it 4 times, and I said I'd spoken to them in March, and she told me it didn't exist. He goes, she's lying to you. I said, great. What the fuck am I supposed to do about that? He said, well, you got either the dumbest person in the world or the smartest person in the world. I said, so what does that mean? He goes, well, it means that they're not going to give you the satisfaction of talking to customer retention. He goes, but they should not do that. He goes, she chose to do that on her own. He goes, I said, well, what's my move here? He goes, well, call them up and keep insisting to talk to customer retention. I said, what if they keep telling me it doesn't exist? He goes, that's a lie. I go, so they're just going to lie to me blatantly? He goes, well, threaten to cancel your service. I go, I did, Chip. I told them I was going to cancel if they didn't let me talk to them, and she told me she couldn't give me $1 off my bill. And he paused and he said, that sounds like the smartest customer service person I've ever heard in my life. I said, yes. I go, I practically thought she was the owner of the company. He goes, well, I'll tell you what, Schmitty, if I'm you, I just keep calling and hope to get somebody different and then go through and get customer retention because it does exist. I talked to them and they did give him money off of his bill. So I don't know what the fuck to do. Like I said, I went in and I'm going to keep calling, I suppose, but I went in all in against Elaine, and I got completely defeated. I was beaten before the flop. Fucking phone. That's the problem. It's the phone. If I could see Elaine in person, I could fucking square this. She wouldn't turn me down. She knows who I am. She knows I'm important, right? No. I'm not good on the phone, folks. I'm good on the phone. I'm bad at texting, but I'm good with my mouth. But sometimes you fuck it up. Sometimes you don't. I've talked about you when I was talking about Press 3. I remember I made that phone call into the infinite night over and over and had to re-record it. You don't learn from things like that, folks. Here's the thing I did. I'm booking live shows again, or trying to. I have plans for coming out and visiting you guys and doing shows. I just booked a live show. Should I tell them the date now or should I tell them later in the show? Is there going to be a later in the show? I have no idea. Tell them now. September 28th, that's a Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. start, which seems odd, but again, we're old. Let's go early bird on this. I will be in Austin, Texas, at the Cold Town Theater, where I was in 2011. I was there in June of 2011, I believe. And we sold it out that night, which was great. So hopefully we can do the same on this trip. I'm actually thinking of doing some kind of press for this. So if you know any connections in Austin, any local podcasts, any local radio, any local papers that would be interested in talking to me, or I don't know, talking to an independent podcaster, because I do not have big podcasts putting me to the forefront, folks. I have to rely on you folks who are helping me out. So I've actually talked to a few friends of the show, our friend Trey and our friend Arian. They're out there, and they came to see me in San Antonio. They saw me in Austin. So they're reaching out to some people, and I'm because as much as I love doing these shows and selling tickets to you guys, and I think I kind of need to expand my reach a little bit, and I have to try to get people outside of my comfort zone and people who don't know who I am and convince them that I'm funny. Or convince them that I'm not funny. Who cares? As long as they buy a ticket, that's fine. I should tell you that this tour, I don't know what it is yet. We did the one man before, and there were certain stories involved, and the shows got out of hand, and they were over 3 hours and in different theaters. This is not going to be a 3-hour show. Here's one of the reasons why. Because I've been going to movies. If I go to a movie and it's over 2 hours, at 2.5 hours, I will always walk out and go, this movie ended at 2 hours and 40 minutes. You would still have 25 minutes left of my show if you were seeing me live. And that just seems long and indulgent. And as much as I loved doing it, and as much as some of you probably enjoyed it, I know some of you probably did not enjoy it because you were sitting in uncomfortable chairs in a bad part of town watching me talk and talk and talk. So I'm amending the length of the show a little bit. And I don't even know what the show is. But it's going to be me talking and telling stories. Probably stories you've heard, although I have to figure out the structure just yet. I'm talking to, my consigliere, and he and I are figuring it out. But tickets are on sale now for Saturday, September 28th in Austin, Texas at the Cold Town Theater. And I chose that date because the Texas Longhorns are not playing thankfully. I did not want to go up against the fucking Longhorns game. That's a bye date for them. So if you were concerned about staying home and watching the Longhorns and hooking them or hooking Schmitty, you can hook 'em Schmitty that weekend because the horns are off. So I'm calling other cities and lining stuff up. I mean, I thought actually I was going to book another city before Austin, but Austin came together super quick, which was great. But I've been negotiating with another city, and there'll be another city later. Whatever. I'm trying to put this together and go out there and bring the CD out there, and I'll sign them for you. Whatever. It should be fun. So go ahead and buy some tickets to Austin. But I've been calling other cities. And I have one city that I've contacted a place, and I thought it was going to happen quickly, and then it did not. So I've actually started calling other spaces in town. And I called up a theater, and I got a machine. And I hate getting a machine because then I can't tell them who I am. I mean, I can leave it all on the machine, but they don't give a fuck. They skip it or they do whatever. Because a lot of the times the machine at the theater is for reservations. So they don't have a business line, and that's the only. If they only provide that contact information on their fucking cell or their website, it's the only number I can call. So I have to try them. So I called up a theater, and I'm going to try to reproduce this for you because you mess up and you get to fucking do it over, and it happens all the time because I never know how to present myself. So I called up a theater, and this is what I said: "Hey, this is Mike Schmidt. I'm a comedian from Los Angeles. I wanted to come and see about getting rates and dates for renting your space there to do a show, probably a Saturday night, looking at October, although I have certain dates that I'd like to discuss with you in person. You need to get a hold of me. I actually worked in this city before, and there's other spaces I've performed at, but I saw your space and it looked very interesting, so I was hoping that you and I could discuss the possibility of me coming in, like I said, later in the fall. And at this point, you realize you're saying too much. Because there's no reason to give them this much information. I should just tell them who I am, what I'm looking for, and a number, right? Right. But instead, I keep talking. So I'm like, yeah, I went to your website, and there wasn't any real contact information other than an email and this number, but I wanted to talk to you because, again, the email can be kind of impersonal, and I wanted to make sure. And I realized then, again, now I'm doing an episode of this podcast for them on their fucking machine. And they could not be less interested. And at that point, that's when I realized, you know what, fuck this. I got to push 3 and start this fucking thing over. It happens to me all the time. It happens at every other. I'm not kidding. If I've ever left you a message, please know it's the second or third attempt. Because on the first one, I talked for 1 minute and 15 seconds, and then I went, what the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. And then I hit 3. So I'm talking to this guy, and I go, yeah, so, your space looked interesting. I saw the pictures, and it looks like something I could do. I don't know if I would handle the ticket sales myself online. I just need a spotlight and a microphone, and blah, 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 blah. And then I wait for them to tell me to hit 3. And then a voice comes on and says, thank you, goodbye, and hangs up. So right now there's a theater out there with a voicemail from me that not only is far too long, but ends with me going blah, 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 blah. And I sat there with the phone in my hand, and I'm looking, because I'm staring at my screen with the keypad, waiting for her to tell me to hit 3. And I'm waiting, thank you, goodbye, and hangs up. This dude, the only good news is the message is so long, he can't possibly listen to the end. And after the first 90 seconds, he has to turn it off, right? There's no way he listens. To me, at the end, just going, yeah, your space and a microphone and blah, 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 blah. Because I'm making fun of myself because I don't shut the fuck up. And he's going to hear it. There's no way I'm going to that theater. No way. Even if he calls me up and offers it for $1, I can't book that, right? Unless I go the other way with it and I completely embrace it. Maybe I do that. Because the last tour was called Success is Not an Option. Maybe now I just book live dates and I sell tickets to see Mike Schmidt, the 40-year-old boy. Blah, 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 blah. You guys can get me at Mike and MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. All of our artwork and music is done by David Hernandez. You can be his friend at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. And our friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. She has 2 different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/MNTs and twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp. And you can be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out the last thing she says to you as she ties your final leg to the bed.
I hate you so much.
You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, and burlesque411.com.
Let's drink your coffee. Let's hold some pencils. Let's soak your frosty. Let's hold more pencils. Mugs. Throw a Garrayaper on these mugs. There's Flameboy Schmitty on these mugs. Go buy these wicked awesome mugs. At MikeSchmittComedy.com. Mugs, 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 mugs,
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. Before I get into all of that, folks, let's talk about something else. We just had the break, and we finished the show, and then we go over the ramp out here, and we tell you about some stuff. Upon listening to some of what we just recorded, I heard some static.
Yes, you did, sir.
Unfortunately, and Lily heard some static as well. I'd like to apologize to you guys for that, and I will tell you this, as I record this, there may be static over this. I have no idea. We don't know why that's happening. Because I'm not touching the microphone and Lily's not touching the laptop and nothing's being jiggled and nothing's being moved. We can only think that it's the fucking Segovia next door and his pig nose amplifier monkeying with the recording. I know what happened last week too. Some people pointed out, I guess, during the Lenny and Lynn story, or at least some segment of that. So I just want to apologize to you guys because I'll tell you what, sound quality is really important to me, even as an independent podcaster. Holy shit, I never finished talking about that, did I? Now that I think about that, remind me. I'll get to it before the end of the show. Yeah, you wrote it down. All right, so that's the thing. If I was under big podcast, if I was in the podcasting union, they never would have let a show go out like that. They'd have some sort of quality control, and they'd go in and they'd breeze through, and they'd get all the static out of there. But again, as you know, we are the Fugazi of podcasting. We are keeping it indie with Mike Schmidt and Lily Von Stupp. So you recognize that this show is this show, and we do it, and we send it out to you. So why it's very important to me that the sound quality is worth it. It's very important to me that the sound quality is professional because, again, we are an indie show, and we're judged differently. And that's why I'm disappointed that they're static. But I'll tell you what, we went back and we started to listen, and there was static over like a 5-minute period maybe at the end or maybe something. But regardless, the point is I didn't feel like retaking it. I mean, we could have, I guess, but well, I'll just tell you this. Last week, you said some of you heard static during the Lenny and Lynn segment. Last week, there was an 18-minute chunk of the show that got eaten. And if you listen to this show, you realize that I don't exactly have a script that I can go back and consult. So I don't know what to do when that happens. Actually, last week I knew what to do. I sat here and I brooded and I stared and I was pissed and I was like, I can't recreate that. I can't recreate because everything I do is magic, folks. Everything I do just turns you on. So I'm like, I can't fucking sit here and recreate the shit that I just did for 18 minutes that got eaten by the fucking computer. So I was gonna leave. I told Lily we're doing a clip show. I just vomited out funny and it got eaten alive and I can't possibly replace it. I can't replicate it. And then I sat here and breathed. And she's like, I'll do whatever you want to do, but I think you should do a show because that's what you do. And I thought on that and I marinated on that thought. And she's right. That's what I do. I do a fucking show. And then I put out a fucking great show last week after I waited. So this week, we heard that static at the end. And I tell you what, I really hate it when there's static at the end because the end of the show, I'm just fucking revving and trying to get to the end. And because I don't even know where it's going to end. There is no end. I just end. The show ends when I'm done talking. So I'm sorry, you're going to have to live with a little static this week because I didn't want to go back and retake it all because I would have had to, here's the thing, I would have had to re-listen to everything and then try to recreate it in the moment. And I'm no actor, I'm me. Believe me, all I can do, it's all I can do at this point to act like me. So I try to bring me to life for you guys, and then to go back and try to recreate it, it's kind of a fucking bite in the ass. So I do apologize. I don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you, and I do hear your requests, and I do hear you telling me that things are staticky, but we can't figure out what the fuck it is. And right now, this is where I record. I record at the oldest building in Hollywood, so if there's a fucking poltergeist or something, and you know what it was? Dave fucking Casper. There's a ghost in the machine, folks. There's a ghost in the machine and it wears number 87 and it went right to the post and it beat Baltimore back in fucking 78. God damn it. 77. And by the way, if you do not sit there and go, hey, Ghost in the Machine, every little thing she does is magic. He just tied, yeah, I did. I fucking did. Without even thinking about it. Let's talk about the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine, folks. That's where there's a show. It's a burlesque show. It's the greatest burlesque show. It's the hottest burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles, the sexiest show you'll ever see in your life. And it comes to you via our producer, their producer, the world's producer. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, Lily Von Stupp. Hey, Lily, how are you?
I am spectacular, Michael.
Now that you're back in the game, now that I've dropped the NFL references and you can actually pay attention to something I'm saying.
Understand anything that's going on in the show.
And yet you still got bitten in the ass by Dave Casper here at the end. Dave Casper, who recovered the Holy Roller. I called it the forward fumble. I should call it the Holy Roller. Not to be confused with the Immaculate Reception,
Jesus Christ.
which the Steelers used to defeat the Raiders and pissed me off. But I'll tell you what, in 1974, the Raiders had their own version of the Immaculate Reception as Ken Stabler was being tackled and then falling to his knees, lobbed the ball into the end zone, and Clarence Davis made the catch amidst 5 Miami Dolphins. It was amazing. But then the next week they were beaten by the Immaculate Reception. You can snore all you want. I'm going to keep going. You keep snoring, I'll tell you what, it'll be awful for you because I will don't make me bring up Carl Mecklenburg. Don't make me bring up Randy Gradishar. Don't make me bring up Craig Morton. Don't make me bring up Norris Weiss. Do not make me bring up old Denver Broncos. You will not enjoy it. Nobody wants to hear about Rob Lytle. Nobody wants to hear about Otis Armstrong. Nobody wants to hear about Rick Upchurch.
I actually know that name.
Rick Upchurch, old-timey Denver Bronco.
I don't know why I know that name, but I know that name, and I know Refrigerator Perry.
Oh, I didn't
and
mention
Joe
Fridge.
DiMaggio.
Jody Maggio was a terrible football player. I will not lie about that.
Those are my sports go-tos.
Although he laid out Marilyn Monroe. Oh my God. He went into a 4-point stance and fucking destroyed him. He Lance Melled Marilyn Monroe all over the bed. Woof.
Oh my God, stop!
You brought up the Yankee Clipper. I didn't.
No, I did. I brought up nothing.
Let's talk about the Clippers. Let's talk about Bill Walton.
No.
You know the Clippers, I don't know if you know this, the Los Angeles Clippers used to be the San Diego Clippers. Before that, they were the Buffalo Braves. Let's talk about Bob McAdoo and Ernie DiGregorio. Ha ha, sports. Oh, fuck. Lily, hi, how are you? Don't be sad. Let's talk about burlesque. You know all about that.
I do.
And all the trading cards and all those groupies involved.
Oddly enough, we have an immaculate conception that's a dancer.
Nice. That's fantastic news. And she also defeated all the Raiders.
I think she did.
Well, let's talk about the show this week. That I actually went to the show this week, folks. I'll tell you that, and I was embarrassed. I didn't want to go to the show. All right, let's clarify. I wanted to go to the show this week, but I was working. Travis Barbecue was on detail, but then I was cut loose early from my work, and they said, "Hey," in my mind, I went, "I could actually make the teas," but I was wearing my work clothes. And I did not want to show up in my crazy work clothes, but I went, fuck it, just go. Because Lily's always told me, I didn't want to show up because I had work clothes. She goes, who cares? And then I walk into a nightclub wearing shorts and floppy socks. And she was very accommodating and greeted me very nicely. And
I handed you the clipboard and said, "Can you work the door for me?"
that you did. I didn't want to mention that. I walked in and immediately started working the door, folks. But it was worth it to get an eye full of flesh. I was excited to do that.
My sound person was in the show, so I had to run the board for a minute. I was going to have to go grab Eddie, but you were standing right there, so I was like, "Can you just watch the door for 5 minutes?"
Done. I was happy to do it. I just didn't like. I was self-conscious because then I was in the front of the room in shorts and I looked like a dumb fuck,
But
which
your
is a
legs
drag.
look spectacular.
Look, I am bulking up. I don't know if you know this. I am not eating, but I am certainly lifting, and I got calves the size of bowling balls. Nobody wants a fucking piece of me. I will scissor the fuck out of you, pal. All right. Well, scissor lock. Scissoring is a completely different thing that I would be doing with somebody.
I was gonna say, what the fuck are you doing? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not. I'm doing it wrong.
You are
I'm probably doing it wrong at
You're
that point.
scissoring, You're doing it wrong.
It's been a while. Need a map. Someone's got to draw me a map. Get an X to mark the spot. Hey, so the show was great this week. Bella Luna was in, did an amazing heavy metal act, and that
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu and that robe, dude, that robe was totally awesome. I'm amazed. Here's the thing: I don't know how much money is in burlesque. I know nothing about it. I know Lily makes $100,000, 6 figures, at her show at the Monday Night Teas every
I
week.
think in the last 12 years I made that.
Okay, I was right. I'm not wrong.
Add them all together.
Still 6 figures and a comma. So good for you. But so I don't know who else is making all the dough. But Bella Luna had this amazing red robe. I'm always fascinated by the costumes. I don't know who.
I will tell you about that red robe if you really want to know.
Of course I do.
There's an amazing company out here called It's a Wrap.
Okay.
And what they do is they get all of the clothing from the studios on consignment. So when a studio wraps their season and they're not coming back, it all goes into clear it all out.
No way.
So you'll go in there and you'll see a shirt and it'll say size 22, Days of Our Lives, and then it'll have the name of whoever wore it is on there as
That's
well.
great.
They have a ton of like Madonna clothes and stuff all hanging, like they have it at the stupid Hard Rock, where they have all the celebrity stuff, and then they have all of the stuff that's for sale. And it's like you'll go in and there'll be like 10 of the same thing because they wore them for 5 years. It's
Right.
So she found it there for like $40.
That's-
and it is the most gorgeous, amazing.
It was beautiful.
I don't know what it was used in. I'm envisioning like Eyes Wide Shut or something.
Yeah, or Dr.
Seriously.
Fibes, or yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it was crazy. It looked like out of a movie when she walked out. She looked like one of the guys in the fucking Def Leppard photograph video in the opening.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just this
gorgeous
weird
red
hood.
velvet cape.
It was beautiful. It was it's like a red cape with a hood. It's a robe and it wrapped her completely up. And it was so realistic. George Zimmerman showed up and shot her. So she stop. But that was an amazing costume. Let me ask you this: do they have movies too, or just TV
They
shows?
do movies as well, yeah. So you'll see movie stuff there.
Perhaps I will go find a Dallas Felons jersey from basketball,
There you go.
because they wouldn't let us keep those, as I've talked about on here. I've never really gone into basketball in depth on here. I will at some point, but yeah, I wore a shirt, and at the time I was a house Mike. I was like a gigantic fat dude, and so I had to wear like a 5X baseball jersey. And so I thought at the end I was going to get to keep it for sure. And then at the end they're like, "No, we're taking all these in case there's like a sequel or something." I'm like, "Ha ha! Good luck." So that robe was amazing. Bella was great, and then Isa Levamp did her Betty Page deal,
Gorgeous.
which was fun. And then Nadia Lott,
Yep.
who teaches pole dancing classes, I understand.
Yes.
I found that out because let's talk about, is it Layla LaBelle? Who's the Australian girl? Lyra LaBelle.
Yeah.
Lyra LaBelle was there to do her. It's called a Skype act. So she pretends that she's on a computer. She's from Australia, lives here now, and dudes. I mean, just fucking snare drum tight, that body. It was crazy. It was crazy. Look, burlesque dancers are attractive. They're good-looking girls. They're beautiful.
You have your type.
I got plenty of types. Well, if she had glasses on, yeah, I may have just thrown her over my shoulder and run, because she was tiny but with like big tits and a crazy ass. Jesus Christ! And here's my favorite thing. Everybody has a costume. Well, her costume was like real clothes, so you can kind of picture her in your room. I mean, I know it sounds weird. Like, as hot as that robe was, I couldn't exactly picture taking that home and banging it. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, that's an awesome Cthulhu robe. I can't wait to get you to my house and tag you. I mean, it's, but she was wearing like a kind of a sweatshirt and panties. And they were like little girl panties. And I think, I forget what they said on the ass, but something. I wanted to get close enough to read, but I felt like an idiot. Because I was because she kept shaking her ass and I couldn't see what it was. And part of me, you can't exactly go up and say, hey, can I read your ass? Can you stand still? I mean, that doesn't make sense. So, but she was so hot and barefoot. I just I like heels, but sometimes you like barefoot and real clothes. Whatever, who cares? Let's not get into me and what I like. Although honestly, the list is really long at this point. I like everything. It's been a while. So the show was great. I mean, I had a great time, and our friends Mr. Snapper and Mr. Buddy were hosting. Mr. Snapper, let's talk about him for just a second. That's our friend Andrew. He has a wife, and her name is Mrs. Snapper. Her name is Red Snapper. And I enjoy Red Snapper and Andrew. They're my friends. They're a married couple who are my friends, but they also happen to be burlesque people. Well, Red Snapper apparently does an internet project called Red Snapper's Topless Vlog. And it's a video blog. And from what I understand, she ain't wearing no clothes in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can Google Red Snapper's Topless Vlog and see the Red Snapper I've discussed many times, and I guess she's naked. I will tell you this. I have not watched the Red Snapper's Topless Vlog, and I understand this week she said nice things about me. But that's because when I was there with her at the show, I asked her, "Are you still doing the vlog?" She said yes, and I said, "I have not seen it yet." And she's like, "Why haven't you seen it yet?" She goes, "You've seen my tits," and I said, "Well, I don't remember that." And she's like, "No, you did at the gallery opening. I was almost completely naked, and you made a comment about it, and you talked about the little tiny crotch patch that I had, and that I was nude, and it was odd for you." And I go, "Yes, it's odd for me. It was. I don't. That's why I don't remember it, and that's why I'm not going to watch you naked on the internet." And she's like, "You should check it out, really." And I'm like, I'm not, that's not a thing I'm going to do. And here's the thing. I'm not against tits. I'm not even against friends' tits. I'm against husbands' friends' tits. I guess because I like Andrew. He's a good guy. And I feel ridiculous watching his wife with her shirt off. I mean, it was weird enough standing next to him while his naked wife talked to us. Because that's their thing. Andrew would be naked too if he wanted to be. He would be naked all the time. That's their deal. They're nudists, and good for them.
Yay!
But that I can't, because again, I'm not going to watch a topless talk show, impassionately. Nobody just watches porn and goes, "This is funny." No.
Porn.
There's a naked chick in it that I kind of know. So inevitably, I got to run off a batch to that, and I'm like, that's that. I just feel odd doing that. Probably, I say, because I know her husband, so jerking off to her just seems like not the move I shouldn't make. Who knows? Maybe I'll come around.
I see what you did.
I'm glad you saw. So the show. Little golf clap. So the show was amazing. It was great. But if you want to go check out Red Snapper's topless vlog, as apparently she frolics with pets and takes off her bra, and talks about me this week, go check it out. Why not? But I have not seen it. But tell me how it is, and convince me to check it out. Maybe I'll check it out. Who knows? Now Lily Von Stup's topless vlog. Oh my God, I see it twice a day. That's what I would do. If that's online, forget about it. I dive right in. I don't even think twice about it. Yes.
Never mind. I don't want to know the answer.
Go ahead. Ask me.
You ever run off a batch thinking of me?
Oh, it's interesting that you would mention that. Next week's show at the Monday Night Tease is going to be an outstanding show. Let's talk about that for just a second. The involuntarily. Anyway, there was.
Get that as a quote.
Why not?
Involuntarily.
Yeah. There was no manual stimulation involved.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I just went off like a shook up soda. I just went off like a busted Sprite can.
Why does that make me happy?
Oh,
Proud?
sure, good for you. Was not good for the guy standing in front of me on the train. That's where my head went. The train.
I love the fact that you went through your pants and
Yeah.
hit him.
Oh, well, hey, you're a powerful girl. It's a powerful image.
Oh my God, that's fucking awesome.
So, folks, that was last week's tease, which was great and fun. Let's talk about this week's Monday Night Tease. That'll be this Monday night, July 29th at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. I will tell you that seats are sold out for this show. And standing room only tickets, are there any left?
Yeah.
Will they be at the door or are they available online?
There's I think 13 as of right this moment available online for $20. If there are any available at the door, they'll be $25. I don't anticipate there being any.
13 standing room only tickets available right now for $20 at brownpapertickets.com. And if there are any left, they will be $25 at the door, but we do not think there will be any left, folks. Because this Monday, July 29th, is the final performance of the Quentin Tarantino Burlesque Film Festival tribute, D Burlesque Unchained. And you may ask yourself, why is it called D Burlesque Unchained? Lily, can you answer that for them?
My D's aren't silent.
Her D's, her double D's, her triple
I grabbed my
D's.
boobs to say it.
I'm glad you did. Those D's are not silent. Hers especially, they jingle like they got spurs on them.
They do sometimes.
Yes, they do. So come out to the show this Monday, July 29th. Like I said, there's a few tickets available left online. And if you don't get them, then you're probably going to be out of luck. But that Monday, you can call and try to find out if there's any tickets left. But I don't think there will be. But right now, go to brownpapertickets.com and search Lily Von Stupp or search Monday Night Tease and buy tickets to the July 29th Quentin Tarantino Burlesque Film Festival, the final performance. Featuring your Lux LaCroix, your Mr. Snapper and Red Snapper. You can watch her topless vlog and then come watch her do a little dance. That's exciting. Jezebel Thunder will be doing a new act. that I'm excited about. So please, I will be there at the show, and I'll be hosting actually this show rather than working the door. I promise not to wear shorts and floppy socks this week. I will be clad in normal nightclub attire. I will be dressed like a normal human being. And hosting the show. Nobody cares that I'm hosting the show. I will be the conduit between acts, but that's what we'll do.
But there's something else happening at the show on Monday.
What would that be?
We're celebrating a birthday.
I don't know whose that would be.
That would be yours, Michael!
It's interesting you would mention that. Yes, I will be. It's my birthday Monday. And I hate being a child and telling you that, but it's the Quentin Tarantino Burlesque Film Festival, and I'm also sort of there for my birthday, and I'm hosting, and it'll be fun. And afterwards, if anybody's interested, we're probably going to go to Toy for Thai food and hang out because they're open till 4, I think. And we've already called them and talked to them, and we can't reserve tables, but if we all show up, we'll all get a thing, and it'll be totally fun. And we will get dumplings, chicken dumplings, Gangnam style. I don't know what it is, Danang. Yeah. Oppa, and they're going to be saying, a little horse dance. I like that. That looks a lot better on 40 double Ds, I'll tell you that. Psy was only a 38C. So tickets are available for just very few. And then I'll tell you what, dudes, if you don't even go to the show and you want to crash Toy afterwards, we'll probably be there at 1. So
Fuck
I mean,
you if you don't go to the show because you don't know what you're missing.
well, tickets are out. I mean, fuck yeah, exactly. We'll spend the whole time mocking them.
You got 12 or 13 tickets available. Go fucking buy one. It's going to be the best night of your goddamn life.
Listen to her. She's not fucking around. So I don't know if you guys can hear it. Was there static over that? I hope not. That was Lily giving you static. That's what that was. So get tickets right now for that. That will be fantastic. Go ahead and check out the show if they're available. If they're not, then come and enjoy it outside. Listen with a cup on the wall. Perhaps you'll do that. And then afterwards, like I said, for my birthday, we're all going to go to Toy and have a good time. So that'll be fun, exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was nice of you to schedule it like that. And then also shows are coming up. Are there tickets on sales for other shows at the house? Okay, so go to Brown Paper Tickets or go to MondayNightTees.com for any of the information. There's also a Monday Night Tees page on Facebook that you can join and follow and all that and like, and you will find out any and all information about upcoming shows. There's a bunch of cool shows coming up in August. I know the Gigawatts are coming to town, all sorts, and also our friends Mr. Snapper and Red Snapper they're renewing their wedding vows at the Burlesque show. They'll both be performing. They'll also this is true, they will be renewing their wedding vows there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So go ahead and check that out. All these tickets are available now at brownpapertickets.com. Go to MondayNightTees.com for all the information that you would need. Go to Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy and be my friend. Be our friend Lily's friend. Please remember also, while you're at Brown Paper Tickets looking for the tickets for the Monday Night Tees, you can now search Mike Schmidt and buy tickets to September 28th, Saturday night, September 28th at the Cold Town Theater in Austin, Texas. And there are going to be other dates announced soon. I'm hoping to come to your town. It's I do the whole thing myself, so it's a work in progress now. But and again, like I said, I don't know what the show is, but there are tickets available right now. September 28th, Saturday night, Cold Town Theater, Austin, Texas. Looking forward to it. Let's sell the place out, and we'll have a good time. And then afterwards, we'll go out and yell yeehaw at some people. Go to the MikeSchmidtComedy.com. That's right. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. Well, first of all, at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, if you go to the upper left-hand corner, you will see that there's a little Schmitty there. You can donate to the show by clicking on him. You can donate $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $25 a month. Or you can make a one-time donation that is just as appreciated. And while you're there at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, I will tell you this, go to the Hey What's Happening page. That's my blog page. And you're like, did you finally write the t-shirt blog? No, of course I didn't. But I wrote a fun little thing about Chris Brown that you might want to check out. I'm hoping to do more of this and write stuff, and I'm trying to be a real performer with a website. Who knows what'll happen? I got to stop being lazy and just telling you everything on Wednesday. I should write stuff piecemeal throughout the week and bring it all together for you at the end. But I also posted it on Facebook. So if you saw it on Facebook, you don't have to go to the website. It's the same exact thing. But there are people who aren't my friends on Facebook. So go check out the thing I wrote. It's just jokes. Don't read it. Forget it. It's bad. It's so stupid. I wind up doing it. I talk people out of everything. It's so dumb. And while you're there, after you read the Chris Brown piece and you're thinking, God damn, that was really funny. I need to do something to reward this guy, but I can't donate to the show. Well, then you should go to the Joe Business page. And while you're on the Joe Business page, you can purchase the Schmitty Comes Alive download from the Podcast Festival last year. You can buy the For the Life of Schmitty single from the Interlude this year. You can get a t-shirt. There's a Red Boy t-shirt with your name on it and a few City t-shirts. Again, I'll write that blog eventually. There are mugs available from Zazzle, but I will tell you this, that time is running short. If you're going to get Zazzle mugs, get them as soon as you can, because I'm looking maybe by the end of the month. Those will be done. We won't be offering those any longer. Tweakedaudio.com/40 supports this show and always has, so go through their website and purchase some sort of, you can buy the earbuds. They also have Tweaked Time, which are the watches, the autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds, the cock ring watches. Then they have gear. I just found out that Tweaked has gear. They have like t-shirts and stickers and all that kind of stuff. So if you want gear, if you want tweakedaudio.com/40 gear, click through and hit the button that says, well, gear. Make sure you can browse and check year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5 of this podcast. They are available for sale individually or together as the UN of Evil box set. That's the Schmitty, the Woj, the Mex, the Jimmy O, and the Evil Dennis. I got lost there for just a second. How can I forget Evil Dennis? Nobody can forget Evil Dennis. If you want to send me something, let's talk about that for just a second. I get people all the time who are like, dude, I don't use PayPal. Or, dude, who are you? Those people I ignore. But the first people who can't use PayPal, they'll say, can I send you something? And you'll get it. And I have a P.O. box that I will offer to you if you send me a note saying, hey, I'd like your P.O. box. Because some people, they don't do online stuff. Our friend Steve in New York does not do that. Our friend Aaron in Colorado, who we talked about. And there's a new person. Let's throw this person into the mix. Our friend Megan Sweet, who is a friend of the show, wrote me and said, hey, I want to send you something, but I don't use PayPal, and I need your P.O. box. And I said, thank you so much for thinking of me. Here you go. And I will say this to you, like I said to her in the email, and I'll probably say it to you in your email as well. Please let me know when you send something, because I like to keep track of it. Because if it doesn't show up, then I can let you know something happened. Who knows? Because when people send me things, sometimes they're perishable, sometimes it's cash, and I don't like it to get lost in the fucking USPS zoo. Again, it is a zoo because they wear pith helmets and they carry whips and chairs. So Megan Sweet said, okay. And then she said, I fired it off. It's on its way to you. So I went and grabbed it and I opened it up and it was an envelope and I didn't know what was in it. So I pulled out the card and there was a really sweet letter from, well, that seems silly to say. It was a nice letter from Megan Sweet. I wasn't trying to make a play on her name, but she was very cool and wrote me this note. And there was a card with the letter, and then there was something hard in the bag, and I couldn't figure out what in the envelope, and it was kind of bulbous. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? So I opened it up and I pulled out. She sent me 2 lollipops in addition to the note. And I was like, well, that's nice, even though I'm kind of not eating candy anymore. People sent me fun stuff. People sent me apples and glasses, all sorts of shit. So she sent lollipops, and I look on them, and I'm like, well, and they were the fancy suckers. They weren't like just Dum-Dums or fucking Tootsie Roll Pops. They were fancy. And I looked at the flavor, and they were breast milk flavored.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's hysterical. What the fuck?
And I kind of double clutched. And I looked again, and yeah, sure enough, breast milk lollipops. And I open up the note, and she wrote me very nicely, and she's like, here, I've given you this, and thank you so much, and I love the show. And then she said, please accept these breast milk lollipops. She goes, I only send them because I couldn't find any pussy-flavored lollipops for you.
Oh, somebody marry that girl.
And she's like, and I know you said you'd rather eat pussy than candy, but now we can actually combine it for you. And I tried, but instead we'll go with breast milk lollipops. And I looked at them, and I won't lie. All right, look, I'm usually up for anything. I think you guys know that. I will put my mouth on anything you've got to offer. But there are unbelievably limits for me.
No.
I let's talk about this. We always talk about me and what I like and all that. Let's talk about what I don't. I don't get human babies. I don't get diapers on adults. I don't get scat. And I don't get lactation porn at all. At all. I don't get breast milk. I never have. There's nothing sexy to me about it. It's a beautiful thing and you're giving life and that's what you do for kids. But you know what it is? And here's the thing. It's not even the out of a body. It's not even that, the humanly produced. It's the, this is going to sound so stupid. It's the warm part that I can't get past.
The lollipop's warm.
I don't know. They're not going to my mouth to find out.
Bring one. I want to try it.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I did. All right, you can. No, I'll bring them next week. I didn't bring it, but you can have it next week. You'll eat it on the air. Because in my head, I actually thought about bringing it and eating it on the air. Well, all right, I'll do that next week.
We have
I'll bring both of them. But I just, dude, I can't get past it. It's the warm part. It's like not even this is milk out of a human's body. It's the warm milk aspect. Because as a kid, they're like, oh, warm milk will make you go to sleep. No, it'll make me run in terror out of the fucking door. I cannot stand it. I would rather have sand in my mouth than warm fucking milk. And so that's why lactation never meant anything to me. So look, if a chick is if she's in Alaska, maybe I drink that milk because maybe it comes out ice milk. I have no fucking idea. I'm in. Cold milk, I'm in. But Oreos and breast milk don't do it for me because it's going to be fucking warm. It's right out of the tap, and that's not working for me unless the tap is chilled. Maybe some chick had fucking ice packs on her tits and then fucking unleashed on me. Good, I'm in. Maybe that works. But that's where a place where my head draws the line is like scat and breast milk and that kind of thing. I don't know why. I just always have. And which is weird because like during sex, I'm a spit guy. Like I'm into all that. Well, I'm serious. Like, I don't care where anything ends up. I'll put my mouth anywhere you want me to. But it's like that. Just for some reason, that was like I can't get my head around it. So, but it made me laugh when I read it. So I had to confirm with Megan, our friend Megan Sweet. I had to confirm to her that her package arrived, of course, because there was some perishables and cash. So I wrote her back, and I said, hey, the package arrived. I said, and your donation was much appreciated. And once I finished screaming in terror, and the lollipops, what did I say? I said, your donation was much appreciated, and the lollipops made me want to leap off of a building. But thank you so much for thinking of me. And I said, and then she wrote me back, and she goes, I have to tell you, it's not real breast milk in the lollipops.
Duh.
It's just breast milk flavor. Exactly. Right? That's almost more terrifying than actual breast milk in there because you know what that means? That means somewhere in a laboratory, some fucking scientists replicated the taste of breast milk and put it in a fucking candy. It's just breast milk flavor. I picture that coming out of Tony the Tiger's mouth for a breakfast at some point. Part of a good balanced breakfast. It's breast milk flavored Pop-Tarts. I didn't know that was on the flavor spectrum. I didn't know that was happening. I knew they came up with red dye number 5 and banana flavor. Look, I like watermelon flavored stuff, but I don't like watermelon. Well, that we found a new correlation. I don't like breast milk flavored stuff, but I do like breasts. So who knows? Or you know what? We go the other way. Like I said, watermelon water. Maybe I don't like breast milk, but I do like breast milk flavored stuff. We will find out next week. If I remember, or if I haven't thrown them away. Because I don't know. That's fucking grim. So Megan Sweet, thank you so much for thinking of me. It was so nice of you. But I was terrified when I opened the package. I couldn't believe it. I was like, So folks, I'm an independent podcast.
Yes.
You know that. I know that. We all know that. Everyone knows that. That's the word on the street. That's the word in the podcasting alleys all over America. By the way, it was another Stallone movie, Podcast Alley. Once he hosted the Podcast Union Festival, and he's like, "But what are we, podcast?" And then they went out to Podcast Alley, and he and Terry Funk beat up somebody. All right, so it's another. Forget it. But so like I told you, I'm an independent podcast. I'm the Fugazi of podcasts. I'm indie. Keep it indie with Mike Schmidt. Well, for one shining moment last week, folks, I was a part of Big Podcast. I was a part of the Podcasting Union. I sat down at my computer and I had a tweet on Twitter. And whenever you get mentioned on Twitter, I don't know if you know how it works. If someone uses your name, it's like Beetlejuice. If someone uses your name, you immediately appear. So you don't have to say my name 3 times to get my fucking notice. Mention me once and I show up. So I sit and I look at my Twitter thing, and I was mentioned by the Sideshow Podcasting Network. They tweeted me. It was like at Sideshow, whatever it is. And it said, here's the newest hot comedy clip from the 40-year-old boy right here at the Sideshow Comedy Network. And it had a link to SoundCloud. I don't think I'm part of the Sideshow Comedy Network. I was stunned to find out that I had been accepted, even though I did not apply. So I clicked on the link, and I went to the SoundCloud page, and the link was dead. There was no audio. So I went back, and you get to answer them. On Twitter, you can talk back and forth with people, in case you don't know how it works. So I wrote them, and I said, A, the link is broken. B, am I a part of the Sideshow Comedy Network? I missed your call. but you can go ahead and send me an email if you'd like. And I tell you what, I was excited because all of a sudden now I had been accepted. I was part of Big Podcast, folks. I immediately went and got my teeth cleaned. I went to the doctor for a check because I knew I had podcast insurance. There's no doubt about that. Once I'm in Big Podcast, I get all of the medical coverage. And then I went to all the stores. I said, hey, look, I'm a member of Big Podcast. And get this, folks, I get everything free. I went to Ralph's supermarket, free fruit, free drinks. Everything I wanted was free because I was a part of Big Podcast. I was swinging around my big sideshow comedy dick and getting everything free that I wanted. And then I got home and I checked Twitter and they never answered me back and they took the page down. So I can't figure out what the fuck happened. I don't know if somebody there really likes me and decided just to feature me even though I'm not part of the Sideshow Comedy Network, or there were discussions where they wanted to have me as part of the Sideshow Comedy Network and then they put up the clip and decided, nah, we don't want that fucking guy as part of the Sideshow Comedy Network. And this is probably the scariest one of all. What if I've been in the Sideshow Comedy Network this entire time? And I've never availed myself of all of the benefits of Big Podcast. And they were only using me to get indie cred for the Sideshow Comedy Network and surreptitiously sending my show to their subscribers without me even fucking knowing about that. This will not stand, folks. I can't be taken advantage of by Big Podcast. It was something called the Comedy Mixtape. And it's funny, when I heard that, I was like, is that a show? Or do they do like a crazy mix-em-up of a bunch of podcasts and just send it out to people? But that's fine if you contact me, but you didn't, and I don't know if I'm on a mixtape, even though I want to be on a mixtape, because you know what? I'll tell you what, there is no thought more comforting, there's no thought that I find greater than Alfred Molina in a robe throwing firecrackers in his house, listening to me on a mixtape while Mark Wahlberg and John C. Reilly try to rip him off in a Coke deal. That's what I want. I want Alfred Molina playing Russian roulette while Thomas Jane and John C. Reilly and Mark Wahlberg sit there and I'm playing on the fucking stereo. Fuck Rick Springfield. Fuck Night Ranger. I want Cosmo, he's Chinese, to be throwing firecrackers around while my voice is booming throughout the fucking place. Only drowned out by gunshots. That's what this podcast should be. This podcast should always be playing and it should only ever be drowned out by gunshots. That's how I feel about it. That's how important it is. That's what independent podcasting means to me, folks. Fuck this Big Podcasting. Fuck their umbrella and fuck their insurance coverage. This show should only be silenced by gunshots. And I defy you. Well, I don't defy you because you know what? Eventually, one of you is going to go ahead and get a gun and try to silence me with gunshots because that makes it sound like I want to be silenced by gunshots, right? Not just the show. People will think cause and effect. They silence me. They silence the show. And then sure enough, I'm in a parking lot and Rocket's red glare shoots me and I'm lying on the ground like fucking Eric Bogosian at the end of Talk Radio. We can't fucking have that. Folks, I got to go on. I got to keep it on. I got to Celine Dion this fucking show. That's right. My heart will go on. My show will go on. My fucking voice will go on and my mouth will go on. We got to fucking bring the show to you independently. Fuck the Comedy Mixtape and fuck the Sideshow Comedy Network until they want to make a deal with me and then I'll go ahead and talk. That's fine. But initially, when you're just trying to fucking steal my show and who's-gow me and throw me in the clink and fucking pull the wool over my eyes, the podcasting wool, the fucking thick earwolf podcast. You know, it's the podcasting wolf. That's what they're pulling over my eyes, goddammit. They're pulling the podcasting earwolf over my eyes and trying to blind me to the fact that I have a whole audience out there that wants to fucking hear me through the Sideshow Comedy Network, but it's not good enough for them. They went ahead and put up a link. They used my name. I'm human lunch meat. I'm nobody. I'm baloney in pants. God damn it. Why do I think I'm somebody special? Why do I think I'm anybody interesting? I'm not. All I bring to the table is everything that everybody else does, but louder. Don't hit snooze on me, motherfucker. I am a hilarious noise machine. I'm going to tell you this. You need to sit down and reevaluate your life if you can pull 2 midget Indian wrestlers out of your skull at any time. You know what? I don't even need you people here. Seriously, I do this. I love me. I don't give a fuck what you think, how you think. God damn it, I'm the greatest. I can't go for Schmidt. No, no. No can do. 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 No can do.